Welcome back, everyone. And if you are catching us for the very first time, we're glad that you found us. This is the place to get your best fantasy football advice, help you take home a victory every week. Let's do it again in week 2. We had a lot of teams get off to strong starts. And then we also have a lot to talk about today. Man, it was a busy week of practice this week. I mean, you think everything happens on Sundays. Oh no, but there's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to help you by answering your start sit questions. Maybe you got trade questions, waiver wire, anything you got for us, throw it our way, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can. That's right. Let's go. We are ready for week 2. Let's start with, I'd say the biggest news is that now Christian McCaffrey is on IR after they made it sound like he might play in week 1, and then all of a sudden, no, he's on IR. So first Puka, now CMC. So we're going to get a lot of questions. We've already got a ton of questions about Jordan Mason as the backup. What do I do with McCaffrey? And there is no easy answer, but just reaction, Chris, says, does this scare you off of him completely? Are you, in general, wanting to sell so you just don't have to risk the potential for season over at some point? Does this present a buy low opportunity?
I would say probably both. Again, we talked about this, I think, on, was it Thursday or Wednesday? I can't remember, when they first talked about potentially putting him on IR. If I can buy low, like we had some people in our Discord saying like, hey, somebody says they'll take DeAndre Swift for Christian McCaffrey, or somebody says they'll take Najee Harris for Christian McCaffrey. Like, because look, this is what happens, right? Oh my gosh, my number one pick, he's done. He's on IR. Oh, just give me something. Like, people just panic, right? People panic. If the person in your league with CMC is in full-fledged panic, take advantage. Because even if, let's say, CMC misses the whole year, are you going to kick yourself that you traded away Najee Harris or DeAndre Swift? Probably not. Right. Now, if they're like, hey, give me, Saquon Barkley, like, don't do that. But now on the flip side, if you have CMC, do not panic trade CMC. His season isn't over. I mean, it might be. We don't know, of course. We don't have all the information, but he's still, it's 4 weeks starting this week. So he could still be back, week 6? If you have a healthy Christian McCaffrey from week 6 to the end of the season, you're going to be fine. If you can just go 2-3, 3-2, maybe you can go 3-2. Even if you go 1-4, you get a healthy Christian McCaffrey the rest of the season, or 1-5, whatever the math is, you'll be fine. But if you could trade him for a true stud, like if somebody's panicked about Tyreek Hill right now because of Tua, and you could get Tyreek Hill for CMC, I'd probably just take Tyreek Hill and not deal with the stress. If somebody's willing to, like I said when we talked about it last time, to give you a stud wide receiver, AJ Brown may not be a good example because now he's hurt, but a stud wide receiver who maybe wasn't great to start the season or in week 1, like maybe a Justin Jefferson plus like a Najee Harris or something like that. Yeah, just don't worry about the headache with CMC, but really here it's just don't panic and take advantage if you can.
Yeah, season's not over, and I know IR means 4 weeks minimum, and seems like a long time, but remember that the season's 17 weeks, and so you're still talking half a season. Hopefully, again, the double-edged sword here is like, okay, I even said as a CMC owner, and you play in multiple leagues. Hopefully you had him at some point somewhere. If you do, I wanted to see him take a game off, if not to get right, get healthy. I didn't want 4 minimum, but okay. If everything goes well, he could come back and then everything's fine. But the alarming thing is the fact that this came on the heels of this week where he had a setback, and the setback means he felt his pain was worse, right, than it had been before. That's very concerning because that means that they felt, okay, now you got a month at least. You're just going to have to sit on it. And so you worry that he gets back and then first game, like you said, get that news flash. He's down, non-contact. So it's scary, but don't panic sell. Don't ever panic sell. And like you said, if you're giving up a guy like, if you're getting a guy like Najee Harris, nothing disrespectful to Najee, but a guy like that, that's not winning your league anyways. That's not a difference maker. Like, you can pick up players off of waivers, but this is also why if you did secure Jordan Mason, that was a smart thing to do. Not every backup running back, handcuff, whatever is super valuable necessarily. But look at Kenneth Walker, who's looking like a stud in week 1. Well, guess what? He's not going to play in week 2, it looks like. So if you had Zach Charbonnet, who didn't seem like he had any value, now all of a sudden he's looking like a strong start. But I mean, is this teaching us this season, trying to teach us the lesson? Is that get the handcuff no matter what?
I mean, this is the only difference between what we're seeing right now and what we see in any other years. It's happening right off the bat. Like
Right.
This is no different than any other year, right? I mean, it's all happened. It just feels like, oh my gosh, it's only been 1 week and already we have these guys. But I guess the good news is the fact that it is week 1. You'd rather not have Christian McCaffrey the first 5 or 6 games than the last 5 or 6 games. You'd rather not have Kenneth Walker week 2 and week 3 than week 16 and week 17. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's right now it's like, oh my gosh. But again, like you said, the season is 17 weeks long. You just got to make your league's playoffs. And if you have a healthy Kenneth Walker or a healthy Christian McCaffrey for the playoffs, you're going to forget all about that this ever happened.
Right. I'm going to keep saying it because I know right now the window of time we have to look at is 1 game. That's what we've gotten. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So yeah, don't do anything too drastic. And we've already seen so many comments throughout the week of people like, I need a running back. I need a running. I don't have CMC. You know, do I trade for J.K. Dobbins? Like, no. Okay, so that's why we're here. Like, it really depends on your league, your roster, your format. So this is why we're going to try to answer all the questions we can as far as what your situation is. It really depends on your team. So we'll reach out to each and every one of you who are reaching out to us and let you know what we think you should do. There are some other players that are injured, and one of them is a extra fun one. Out of nowhere, after a big week 1, not running back, but A.J. Brown just suddenly popping up on the injury report, and now it looks like he's not going to play. He is not officially out, but he is questionable, and A.J. Brown has missed time before and has been questionable many times before, and it usually doesn't end well. So I don't think it's Jahan Dotson time, but what does this mean for Philadelphia?
Oh, I don't know what it means for Philadelphia. Probably not. I mean, it's not good for Philadelphia, but it is the Falcons. I think they can probably still eke out a win, but it's really not good for your fantasy teams because he plays Monday night. So you can't wait around to see if AJ Brown plays, and then when they rule him out an hour before, like they did with Christian McCaffrey last week, what do you do? I think you have. I think at this, unless we hear something tomorrow or between now and tomorrow that, hey, it's fine, he's going to play, I think you have to bench AJ Brown. I mean, this is a guy who practiced Thursday, because remember they played Monday, so they're like a day behind. Practiced Thursday. On Friday, yesterday, all of a sudden limited with a hamstring injury, which is never a good sign when a guy becomes a addition to the injury report, in the middle of the week. And then today, in their final practice for the game, did not practice at all. So officially, they're listing him as questionable, but that is usually a bad sign. And since it's Monday night, I know it's AJ Brown, and it's terrible having him on your bench, but what are you going to do if he's out? You're going to pivot to Jahan Dotson? You're going to, flex? I don't even know. Who do they play in? You're going to flex Darnell Mooney? Like, I think you got to just sit AJ Brown, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said with Dotson, you are not going to feel like you can pick him up and plug him in there instead of AJ Brown. There's no way. He was barely even looked at in week 1. It's going to take him time, but I mean, what? Darnell Mooney, maybe Ray McLeod. You get a few targets. Yeah, you might just have to. Again, questionable game time decision. Those things, it's different on Monday, so we're going to have to check it out and see what happens there. And our first question is about AJ Brown, but before we get to your questions, let's go through the full injury report. So you know exactly, as of right now, the teams have put in their official status for these players, what's going on. And of course, this is subject to change tomorrow before the games. This is why we also go on tomorrow morning, 3 hours before game time. So you'll know exactly what the deal is. But let's just rip the Band-Aid off here. Out, Christian McCaffrey. Good thing, I guess, again, trying to spin it here. The good thing is that you can place him on IR now, and you won't have to just sit him on your bench. If you have IR spots in your fantasy league, you can put him on IR right next to Puka. And then Kenneth Walker is doubtful. So let's just assume he's not playing. Hollywood. Didn't even talk about Hollywood. Now, actually, let's get to Hollywood real quick. He's not just on IR, but from what I've heard, and I know you also follow Dr. David Chow, he's saying this could just be season ending. I mean, do we just drop him? Is it worth stashing on IR?
I wouldn't drop him if you have IR spots. Like if you only have one IR spot and you have Christian McCaffrey and Hollywood Brown, or you have Puka and Hollywood Brown, yeah, drop Hollywood Brown. Because even Andy Reid said we're looking more at months rather than weeks. But if you've got IR spots, and why not just hold him? What if he comes back? Okay, months could be 2 months. What if he comes back early December and you get him for the fantasy playoffs? I mean, but yeah, I wouldn't hold him. Like if you don't have any IR spots, drop him. If you only have one IR spot and you need it, drop him for sure. This came out, talk about coming out of nowhere. He went from like, yeah, there's a chance he might play this week to like, nope, he's done. Like what?
I know. And yeah, we knew he was hurt, but again, they were saying he'll be back pretty soon. So again, blindsided. This is why I know some people like to throw out there and say, "This is why I don't draft injured players." You can't look at just the negative outcomes here. There's plenty of guys who are banged up in week 1 and they're just fine. It's you just never know. We cannot predict the health and the injury status of players. Again, if you have Hollywood, you do not need to hold on to him. If you have an empty IR spot, it doesn't hurt to put him in there. But if you have any player you really want to keep that is also injured or eligible for IR, don't bother. Just drop Hollywood. Jordan Love is still out now. This is sort of good. He's not on IR, but also now he is technically, I think they said, well, he's questionable for this week. Like he's not playing this week, but they're saying he might come back next week. You feel good about that?
No, I don't feel good about that. I mean, maybe, but more than likely, I think it'll be the week after.
Little subterfuge by the coaching staff. I mean,
yeah. This week they were saying like, "Hey, there's a chance he didn't," and then he didn't even practice. Didn't even take a rep. Like, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy much into that, but he should be back sort of soon. So again, if you dropped Jordan Love because of the injury, like that probably was too rash. T. Higgins still doubtful. Definitely don't start him. Don't mind trading him. David Njoku is out, high ankle, probably a couple more weeks. Jake Ferguson, again, trying to make us think somehow and pretend that he might play this week. He's not going to play. He's doubtful, but it shouldn't be long-term. Jordan Addison is out. We know that. Just talked up promising rookie Devon Vele of Denver, and both of their rookie, the running back Audric Estime, he's on IR, if that matters for your fantasy team. It shouldn't. And then now Vele, all of a sudden, out. Don't know what's going on there in Denver. Let's see. And then Russell Wilson also is going to sit. That means more Justin Fields. All right, let's get to the questionables. A.J. Brown. Got a lot of A.J. Brown questions. Just know he's questionable. He has missed games in the past. Jameson Williams, another great one after big week 1 breakout on the injury report. How do you feel about this one?
You know, I really haven't seen a lot about like what's really going on with him, but I also haven't heard anything that makes me feel like he's going to miss. So I feel like he's probably on the good side of questionable, but the way this season has gone, who knows?
Yeah, I will say this. You've got to think for multiple reasons, not just, oh, he was bad week 1, he'll be good week 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown should bounce back, right? I think he'd be a focal point here. Laporta too, but the way this Tampa defense functions, this could be a huge Sun God game. So maybe less of a Williams game, but risky, obviously risky anyways. Josh Downs is at least questionable now, not out. Don't imagine that he's close to 100%, but you really shouldn't need to start him anyways. Jaden Reed's questionable now too. What's up with that?
Yeah, this is one. I feel like he's on. It's a shin calf. I know we hear calf, and it's like, oh no, because of Christian McCaffrey, and I guess Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson calf injury. Like, oh no, he's going to start week 1. And now it's like, now they're saying like, yeah, he might not start for 2 more weeks after this. But again, I feel like he's on the good side of questionable, but of course he was limited in the last practice. We'll see. I mean, you can't feel great about him anyways, because he's going to be playing with Malik Willis. So maybe this is enough to like steer me away from Jaden Reed.
Exactly. There's already risk. So this might be kind of the tipping point. If you're between two receivers you're not sure about, maybe this makes you lean away from Jaden Reed. Josh Palmer is questionable. And then former Charger Keenan Allen and teammate Rome Odunze, both questionable for the Bears. So more DJ Moore, I don't know. We'll see. But let's definitely monitor that. All right, and then let's end with the good news. These guys are in. There was concern about Malik Neighbors, but he's good. So are you just firing him up pretty much everywhere because it's the Commanders?
Pretty much. I mean, Brian Daboll said yesterday, so remember Thursday he was added to the injury report with a knee injury, but then yesterday he was full, and Brian Daboll said, nah, wasn't a big deal. We just were being careful with him. He's good to go. So, I mean, look, we can only work with what we hear, right? We're not in the locker room. We're not giving these guys treatment. It sounds like he's good. I have to bank on the fact that he's good. It's the Commanders. I'm starting them.
What we hear a lot of times isn't the truth. Let's just be honest. Christian McCaffrey, anyone? Yeah, these coaches like to play games. And let's just say Malik Neighbors, you start him if you got him. Mike Williams is in, but I'm not starting him. Dalton Schultz is also in. Justin Fields, we know, is in. Troy Franklin, well, I guess there's one piece of good news for the Broncos, is in. And, of course, Malik Willis in as the starter for the Green Bay Packers, which in and of itself will lead to a lot of questions. But before we get to your questions, and we already have a ton lined up, guys, if you do have a question, of course, we'll try our best to get to as many as possible, which I know is only going to be a fraction of them, but there's good news on that front. So let me tell you first about this, though. Before you get your fantasy lineup set, which is what you're here to do, also set your pick'ems for Underdog. Now, if you already have an Underdog account, you'll see this in there. Every day you're seeing some new promotion, and right now we still got that CeeDee Lamb free pick, higher than 0.5 total yards. That's right. CeeDee Lamb gets a yard. You win. It's a freebie, free pick here. And combine that with any other pick, you have a chance to win some big money, depending on how many picks you want to line up there. Now, if you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, you're going to be a new customer. Well, here we go. On Thursday was Josh Allen, and now you still get this one. Caleb Williams. Look, he doesn't have to be great. He just needs a yard. Caleb Williams gets 1 yard total this week. Then you win it. That's another free pick for you. And you can also use that CeeDee Lamb on a separate pick 'em. So if you're signing up for the very first time for Underdog, you're ready to try it out, you want to see what all the hype is about, here you go. Sign up now. You get that free pick. And still going, still that offer, up to $1,000 of bonus cash deposit match of 50%. But make sure you use that promo code ENDGAME if you sign up on Underdog right now. Use code ENDGAME for that deposit match, for the free pick and the other free pick. And you can also check out, if you've seen our start sit videos already for this week, we tell you some of our favorite picks. I mean, sometimes they're just gimmies on there, right? You just can't believe that they're putting it there. And I mean, take advantage as much as you can. We never know exactly what's going to happen, but sometimes you get a good, strong feeling when it's a good bet. So use that promo code to get all of those benefits. And then talking about your questions here, which you're going to answer. The good news is if you don't get your question answered here live, whether it's today or tomorrow, you can ask your questions at any time on Draft Lane. This is our app, and it's been very successful so far. And the requests keep pouring in. So if you want to be able to get your question answered without having to put it live on YouTube or, wait, just do it right here. Download the app. Draft Lane is free, absolutely free. Go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and download the Draft Lane app. And you can do all the same things you do on here. And again, for a very limited time, new customers, you're going to get a $10 credit. So any of those questions that you want to ask, you can use this. Basically, again, free credit, free money you can use for your first few questions there. Now, you want to know, well, how does it work? What does it look like? Well, this is just some examples. This is not exactly what the app looks like, but these are some examples you see people trade, advanced trade, waiver wire, general questions. If you don't know exactly where to put it, it doesn't have to be a waiver wire start sit question. You can just ask a general question. So when you log in on Draft Lane, it syncs with your Yahoo or Sleeper leagues. Sorry, ESPN still doesn't play nice, so can't do ESPN leagues. Their fault, not ours. But Yahoo Sleeper, it syncs your leagues, your standings, your roster. You can see all of that. And if you ask a question here, you can see this is what your question might look like. This is one user's particular question and our response. And look, we can see your roster. This is this particular user. We have access. If you log in, we can see the players on your team. We can see your league mates if you're asking a trade question. And so you don't have to type 1,000 characters. You don't have to leave a super long message. We can see the players on your team, and then we can use that information to get you, an answer even quicker, and it's at your own convenience. So if you're not able to make the live stream, maybe you're watching this later this evening, tomorrow, whatever, and you can use this anytime. So it's got more flexibility, and we get more detail out of it. So, and we can give you custom responses as well. It's not just click a player and pick. We can actually leave you messages. So very interactive, very personalized. I love it. We've had great response to it. I mean, we've had a lot of our people using to say, this is wonderful. This is, what we've been waiting for. So yeah, we're still doing the live streams, of course, here to answer your questions. But again, try Draft Lane. This is what you're looking for. Get you all the feedback you need to help win. Because of course, that's our end game. That's why we do this. It's to help you win your leagues. All right. And let's start. We got plenty of questions lined up. So let's get to, and Lex Dad was first in line at about 10 a.m. this morning. That's Central Time, so 9 on the East Coast. Let's go, and let's start with AJ Brown. AJB is ouchie. Cannot afford a 0 on Monday Night Football. Probably don't want to roll out Ray McLeod just yet. So Godwin, Pittman, Dobbins, Ford. I think you're muted.
When you have a good option like Godwin, I'm not going to risk it with AJ Brown. I'm just going to put Godwin in and not worry about it. If AJ Brown plays, he plays. Oh well. Godwin should be good enough this week. I'm just rolling with Godwin.
Godwin is a very good option against this Detroit defense. Just say Tampa should score a lot of points here. So you do have very good options. That's the good news here. All right, and then one more here, 12 team. And looks that has that YouTube membership also, by the way, besides being longtime viewer. Half PPR needs 3: Connor, Rachaad White, Dobbins, Ford, or D-Rob.
I think you got to go Connor and Rachaad White, and then I'm going to go Ford. I'm gonna keep Dobbins on my bench, even though it is the Panthers. Ford, I just feel better about getting the touches, catching more passes. I know it's half PPR, but still, that counts. So there's no worry about anybody taking touches from Ford. I'm going Connor, White, Ford.
Yeah, it's half. I mean, I'm big on Connor this week. If you guys watched the Boone video, I know you're tempted to play Dobbins after last week. Let's wait and see. Let's really see if he rips off another 61-yard run. So I'm going to agree with you, Connor, White, Ford. All right, Michael Cazares. Okay, here we go. CMC, would you trade him for Olave and JSN? Is that enough? It's a 10-man.
It's close. If it was like Olave and like, I don't know, a running back, like maybe if it was like Olave and Ramondre, Olave and Brian Robinson, maybe even like Olave and, I don't know, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. I mean, something like that to replace CMC, because here's the thing. Like, you got Nico, Waddle, Kyron Pacheco. You got Ladd,
running back,
Marcus.
Kyron Pacheco and Ford. That's not bad.
Yeah, which isn't bad. I feel like I need more. Like JSN, to me, I'm still on the. I did not like what I saw from JSN in week 1, and now we have a full season and a week 1, and it's like maybe it'll still happen, but maybe it won't. I feel like maybe JSN is just going to end up being a throw in here. So I feel like I need more. I mean, you got Pacheco and Jerome Ford. It's not like, and you got Kyron Williams, Pacheco, and Jerome Ford. It's not like you're hurting at running back here. You can get by with those guys, no problem. And as far as Garendo, I mean, okay, if you want to pick up Garendo, sure, but it's pretty obvious that the handcuff here is Jordan Mason.
Yeah, I don't see Garendo really having value anytime soon. Man, I'd be worried too about your receiver core because you got Waddle, and now there's reasons to be concerned about Waddle. That's the thing. So I definitely want to improve your receiver core. I agree. Olave is a good get. Yeah, JSN, I mean, you're taking a leap of faith here. I know it's only been 1 week, but we got to see it, right? So,
yeah, maybe if you could do like, okay, so if you need wide receiver help, maybe if you could do something like Olave and I don't know who's a good buy low, like Amari Cooper.
That's what I was thinking.
Somebody like that. Then I might like this a little bit more for you. Because again, it's not like CMC. Like if CMC comes back week 6 fully healthy and is fully healthy the rest of the year, you're probably going to wish you'd gotten more back.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. CMC's not dead in the water yet. Sir Boomer got Daniels, HM, Pacheco, Chase, Nico, Ingram, Cooper, Monty, Buck, Lad, Deontay, Hollywood, Lockett, Love, and his Stash and Brooks. So is this a team that you do something with Hollywood? Waivers are below.
I drop them because you have Jonathan Brooks on IR, and there's a good chance we see Jonathan Brooks way before we see Hollywood Brown, unfortunately. And I think the guy I pick up here is go back to his team. What does he need? Can you go back to his team? So you got HM Pacheco. Wow, that's nice. You got Chase, Nico, Cooper, Monty, Bucky, Ladd, Deontay. I mean, you're pretty solid here, but I'd probably go Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, not picking up D-Hop. I wouldn't mind stashing a Bigsby or Corum, a Benson, but they're all just out there on waivers. Probably, I mean, so many rookie running backs there. Yeah, just go Jacoby for now. You're okay running back. Vinny, what's up, Vinny Vargas? All right, so he's got an open spot because Hollywood's on IR. Available right now, Robinson, Evan Ingram. See your leg.
I'm grabbing Evan Ingram. I know you have Kincaid, but hasn't been a good start for Kincaid so far, but also it's never a bad thing to have another very strong tight end on your bench. Because what if something happens to Kincaid? Or what if Kincaid continues to struggle and Evan Ingram starts playing well? Like Demarcus Robinson, sure. Xavier Leggett, sure. Stash those guys. But if I can get a guy like Ingram who can actually crack my lineup on a weekly basis, I'm taking that guy.
Yeah, it's been 2 games for Buffalo. I'm starting to get a little worried about Kincaid maybe not being the top tight end, but let's see. I'd pick up the most valuable guy. It's Ingram. Yeah. All right. Look, I know we're getting to the super chats, but look who's back in the house. It's the bus. The bus is here.
What's up?
Standard question: Drake London or DK Metcalf?
In standard, I think I'll go with DK Metcalf. I don't love the matchup this week, but I feel like he's got more touchdown upside. I wish I could say Drake London. I mean, it's the Eagles secondary. It's not terrible at all, but man, like I need to see Kirk Cousins look somewhat healthy. So I think this week, even though I don't love the matchup for DK, he could always score a touchdown. I'm going DK.
Sorry, Bus. I'm going to split the difference here. I'm still confident in London. I think they're trying to get him the ball. That Philly secondary is not good. I'm just worried about DK's matchup, his one-on-one matchup this week. I think he could get taken out. Of course, he always has that big play upside. If it's me, I'm going to lean London. Although I wish this was PPR. Arvin Angeles. Okay, so Bucky Irving, Rashid Shaheed, Chase Brown. Would you drop any of those guys for Garendo?
Again, I mean, no, it's they told us like for the last couple, like last second half of August, I was saying like Mason, get Mason. He's the handcuff. Get Mason. He is the handcuff. Nah, Garendo, special teams. Maybe he'll get mixed in a little bit, but no. If it's not Mason, I'm just staying away.
Yeah, I don't think you need to drop any of those guys. Even if Garendo does get involved, it's going to take time. It definitely is going to take time. Black bag. All right. I think here we can safely sit London. Neighbors or London?
Yeah, I might not be this high on Neighbors again the rest of the year, at least until they play the Commanders again. So let's go Neighbors.
Yeah, I've definitely got to fire up Neighbors, see what happens. Anthony Giangregorio will come back. All right. Streaming tight end, everyone's favorite pastime. Would you choose Schultz, Ertz, Fant, Henry, Akins, Dulcich, Kraft, Conklin, Gesicki, Schoonmaker, Okonkwo, Juwan? Okay, who's your favorite streaming tight end? Or one that you hate the least?
Yeah, probably Schoonmaker. He's going to fill that Ferguson role. Like he did like last year in very little snaps, he scored 2 touchdowns. So why couldn't he score a touchdown this week? I mean, like none of these guys excite me in the sense that like, okay, I feel like they at least give me a floor. So we're looking for touchdown upside. Give me the guy on Dallas with Dallas at home.
With these options, might as well just do the 1-to-1 replacement. The only guy maybe I would think about is Gesicki. I really thought Conklin would be more involved. He did nothing last week, so I think we have to step off.
Conklin and Kate Otten currently battling to see who will be the win sprint king at tight end. He played like 90% of the snaps. Him and Conklin just out there running routes and then jogging back to the huddle. Run a route, jog back to the huddle.
Yeah. Target share. Routes, snaps only matter to some point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think just go Schoonmaker. You'll be fine. I mean, Juwan, Moreau. How do you know which of those guys might catch a tight end touchdown, a tight end here, New Orleans? Nah. All right, MC. Receiver, running back, flex, Etienne, Mondre, Ayuk, Flowers, Devontae.
Wow, you got some really good choices here. I think I still have to go Etienne over Ramondre at running back this week. If we see another week where he's given up a big bulk of the carries to Bigsby, then maybe I'll start dropping him down a little bit more. But I think I'm going to trust him for one more week here. I think you got to go Devonta Smith at wide receiver now.
Yeah.
I mean, with AJ Brown probably out or at least limited, he should see a huge target share this week. So I think you got to go Devonta Smith. Ayuk and Flowers is close for me at the other flex. But I think Ayuk has more big play upside and more touchdown upside. I'm going to gamble on that. So I'm going to go Etienne, Devonta Smith, and Ayuk.
Yeah, I do think with AJ Brown, questionable, but likely out. Go Devontae Smith. I do like Flowers, but I feel it's more of a floor play than Ayuk. Like I know with CMC out, that helps probably Debo more than anything. But Ayuk will be fine. I'm going to start Ayuk this week. It's a good matchup. So Devontae,
it kind of
Ayuk,
low key helps Ayuk as well, though, because we're probably going to see more Debo out of the backfield, and that means Debo running less routes.
Right.
So,
yeah, it should kind of boost both of them. But I'm not sweating Ayuk. I do think with a Baltimore game, I feel a big Derrick Henry game. Maybe being overly optimistic, but I don't think that they're going to need to pass too much like they did last time against the Raiders. So Devontae, Ayuk, I might go Mondre over Etienne. It's close between those two. So one of those two. I know Etienne has a better matchup, though not much. All right, and then MC also thoughts on Mark Andrews.
I'm not sure tight end is going to make or break anybody's season this year, other than maybe the people who drafted tight end early and draft a bust. It might make or break your season. Yeah. Mark Andrews will be fine. Mark Andrews will be fine. I'll tell you right now, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I fall for this trap every year. I'm not drafting tight end early next year. I don't care how in vogue elite early tight end is. Oh, how deep. Oh, tight end is so deep. This guys, I've never every year. This is like I can pretty much every year guarantee you certain things. One thing we're gonna hear. Oh, like, look at that! How deep tight. Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Dalton Kincaid, all these guys. And then what happens? You go out here and tight ends a wasteland, like it always is, because teams don't. It's like teams just don't throw to tight ends like that. I mean, like it's gonna get better for tight ends, of course, and it's gonna get better for Mark Andrews. But I don't think if Mark Andrews is making or breaking your season, you probably have other issues on your team.
Right. I mean, if it's the same team with those players you just talked about, yeah, Mark Andrews shouldn't make or break. You'll be fine. Keep him in there, start him. He'll be fine. Yeah, I agree. Every time we did a mock or anything where I was like, okay, Sam Laporta fell to the 4th round. Let me grab him. And I still just kind of felt, a little dirty inside doing it. Didn't feel right. It's like, should have known. Okay. Ace Flame, start 2, Pacheco, Jacobs, Connor, Ford.
Oh my gosh, these are all very good options. I know I put Jacobs on the boom, but I also understand there's risk for Jacobs that like the Colts just blow him out and they're just the Green Bay offense can't do anything. I feel good enough about Connor this week that I'm just going to roll with Pacheco and Connor and not even risk it with Jacobs.
Exactly. Pacheco, pretty much you got to start him, and I would go Connor over Jacobs. Ford is last year. All right, Jason Quinones, always in the house. Start 1 flex, 2 leagues, both are PPR. All right, league number 1. Aaron Jones or Jerome Ford?
This is a close one again for me here. It's not a great spot for Aaron Jones this week against the 49ers. But also Jerome Ford on the Browns.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson's still starting. That's the problem there.
I think I'll give the slight edge to Aaron Jones. But this one could really go either way for me.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. Give the edge to Ford, a little more big playability, I guess. And then second league, okay, Connor, Stevenson, Ford, Cooper, Mason, Moss. Just one of those.
All these guys are flex options for you. I think as much as I like Amari Cooper this week, and I know it is PPR, I can't bench Mason. The guy's going to get 20 plus carries in a 49er running offense. I can't bench that. That not only does he give you the upside, he gives you such a safe floor, right? Just a very safe floor. Like you don't have to risk like Amari Cooper going out there and giving you a game like he gave you last week. Just put Mason in. And how are all these guys your flex option?
I wonder if this is an 8-teamer. I really like Connor, but I think you got to start Mason. Agreed. In that offense, the way he looked last week. And then the defense question, the Chargers or the Jaguars?
I think you got to go Chargers. It's the Panthers. It's Bryce Young. I mean, until they show us that they're actually going to be better, you just stream against the Panthers every week.
Agree. I think the Jags should be a pretty good real life defense. Remember, this week they're missing both of their top cornerbacks. Tyson Campbell, a really good young corner, is out. And yeah, their secondary is not going to be at their best. So go Chargers. Eric Sanchez needs help, as he said so. Full PPR. Devontae Smith, Harrison, Metcalf, Charbonnet. Okay, so we need 2 receivers in the flex, which means we only sit 1. Is it the rookie?
I'm sitting the rookie. Like I do think the Cardinals will get him more involved this week. And I don't love DK Metcalf this week. No. I think you got to start Devonta Smith. I feel good enough about Charbonnet. I know we saw last year he didn't go out there and ball out like we wanted him to when given the opportunity. And it's not a great spot against the Patriots this week, but I still like him enough. He'll catch passes. And then I'm gonna do Metcalf.
Yeah, if he's getting all the touches, which he will, because Walker won't play and they really don't have much behind him, I'll flex Charbonnet here. You got to definitely start Devontae Smith. So Harrison, Metcalf, again, I'm a little nervous about Metcalf, but how can I feel great about Harrison? So I guess take a chance on Metcalf, see if he does something. All right, Eric also has another question with another super chat. Took a hit with Tyreek. So out of Pittman, Harrison, Olave, McLaurin, B-Rob, Charbonnet. Okay, so this must be a different league. 1 receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex.
I'm going Olave at wide receiver. I think Olave is going to bounce back. I think people are going to be like, oh, yeah, this guy's good. And then I'll go Brian Robinson and Charbonnet at running back and flex. I'm not like same thing I said about Harrison with McLaurin. Let me see this offense do something different. And Pittman, not feeling a big Pittman week this week. So I'm going to go Olave at wide receiver with Brian Robinson and Charbonnet running back and flex.
I'm going to say the same thing. Yeah, Pittman not in a great spot necessarily. Harrison, let's wait and see. McLaurin, let's see what that offense really looks like. They got to get him the ball more. Same thing with Harrison. So, yeah, Olave, B-Rob, Sharps, even in full PPR. Because Charbonnet will catch passes, for sure. Nick, pick 2. Got Sharps. We're going to have a lot of Sharp questions. Dobbins, Sharp, or Pollard? Half.
I think you got to go Charbonnet here. I'm okay if you want to go Dobbins because it is the Panthers, but I'm probably just going Tony Pollard. I mean, I know Brian Callahan saying like all that coach speak, like, hey, we got to get Tyjae Spears more touches. But last week, yeah, it really wasn't the case. It was a lot of Tony Pollard. So I'm going to go Sharp and Pollard, but I'm also okay if you're like, hey, it's the Panthers. Dobbins ripped off those long runs and you want to go Dobbins. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I mean, considering I don't know if these are just your 2 running back options. Maybe you're a CMC owner. Don't know what your receiver room looks like. If you really need that upside, which again, just conjecture here, you might. Then maybe go Dobbins and hope for the big game. Pollard's a safer choice. I mean, if they already lied to us about it being a 50-50 split, then why would we believe what he say about getting him involved this week?
I'm not believing.
Abimanu, welcome back. All right, needs a receiver and a flex. Got Deontay, Terry, Cooks, DeMarcus, Gus, or tight ends. Let's not flex a tight end.
No. All right, wide receiver 3 is going to be, oh man.
I feel like it should easily be one of those first 2, but it's not.
I know. Well, I'm still going Deontay here. I mean, I like Brandon Cooks' potential this week. I like DeMarcus Robinson's potential this week, but still, they're not any less risky than Deontay Johnson or Terry McLaurin. It's not a bad matchup for Deontay Johnson by any stretch against the Chargers. I got to think they're going to try to get him more involved. So I'm going to go Deontay Johnson. Oh, this might be our toughest question all day.
Well, I will say this. These all have risk, clearly. I think it's between those first 3. Cooks seems like a decent, not super high ceiling play. I kind of feel the best. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not accurate. I kind of feel like Terry McLaurin might have the best path to a big game. And I don't know. They were both kind of duds in week 1, but maybe it's Deontay and Terry after all.
Yeah, I mean, the more I look at it, the more I think about it, it's like I can't really bench Deontay Johnson and Terry McLaurin for these guys yet.
Yeah.
It's not like any of these guys are sure things here. So just stick with Deontay and Terry and hope it's better this week.
Yeah, I don't mind Cooks this week. He's definitely got a solid floor. If he scores a touchdown, yeah, he'll have a good week. But I would just stick with the first 2. All right, Jonathan, Cochan, 10 PPR, Hurts, Bijan, Jacobs, Devontae, Waddle, Kelsey, Dobbins, flex. All right, on the bench, Jama, Worthy, and Dell. All right, bench Jacobs for Dobbins is the first question.
No, I'm still sticking with Jacobs.
No. And then would you flex one of these instead?
Yes. Tank Dell. I would flex. This is PPR. I would flex Tank Dell or Xavier Worthy over Dobbins in PPR. I mean, was Worthy now, like, with no risk of Hollywood, you got to feel pretty good about him. But I think Dell's the one I really like this week.
Right. And it's PPR. Like I said, if you really want to take a chance on Dobbins and hope he has, and maybe, yeah, I get it. You're worried about Jacobs. If you really want to take a shot on Dobbins for Jacobs, you can. I wouldn't. But I think you got to flex Tank Dell. So there you go. All right. Kim Eddington. Thank you, Kim. Flex babies.
Babies.
Babies, Diggs, Ford, Ramondre.
Well, I don't know who Babies is.
What would the autocorrect change to babies is the question.
I don't know. The chat probably knows.
Yeah,
Chat, do
I
you
was
know?
gonna say.
Chat probably.
AI would know this.
I might want to start Babies depending on who it is.
Let's flex the babies. Not neighbors, no.
Did we get is this PPR or not? Did we say no?
Don't know.
Bigsby? People guessing Bigsby. Like Bigsby doesn't belong in this conversation.
No, it can't be Bigsby.
A lot of people saying Bigsby. We're getting some neighbors.
I think
If it's neighbors, I'm going neighbors. If somehow it's neighbors, I'm going neighbors.
Yeah,
if it's not neighbors, I'm not going Bigsby.
I think maybe neighbors. That might make sense. If it's neighbors, go neighbors. If it's
if it's neighbors, if Babies is supposed to be neighbors, go neighbors. B Rob. Somebody said B Rob. It could be B Rob. Somebody did say B Rob.
Maybe.
Man, if it's not neighbors, this is really close. I mean, it would be hard to bench Diggs. I know Diggs could. I know if he's gonna get chances to score every week. I don't know. I say if it's neighbors, I'll go neighbors. Otherwise, I guess I go Diggs and don't like it.
Yeah. Also, not knowing the format is tough. Like I get the autocorrect, foils us all at some point. But just by the way, we already have 55 in queue. If you do, when you do put that question up, super chat or not, tell us if it's PPR, standard, half, super flex, whatever. You don't have to put your whole roster in, but yeah, just let us know the format. Information would help. If Babies is neighbors, go neighbors. If Babies is anybody else, probably just go Diggs, assuming it's PPR. All right. Good luck, Kim. Sea Warriors 5. Would you trade Worthy for Cooper?
Ooh, if you'd asked me this question a couple days ago, I would have said absolutely. But we may now get a full season, or at least a big chunk of this season, without Hollywood Brown. And that means Xavier Worthy is the clear number 2, the clear deep threat in a Patrick Mahomes offense. I might just hold Worthy now.
I think you should, because I'm part of the reason I wasn't as high on Worthy is I just assumed that Hollywood Brown would actually play for the Chiefs. And that he would be at least the one, if not the 2. And that leaves Worthy as more of a deep threat, right? Gimmick guy. They're going to need him. So, I think you got to keep Worthy here. I mean, his value has definitely gone up. So, there's the other part of the equation here is what if Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended, benched, cut, whatever, and he really is that bad? So don't take the risk here.
And then there's the other part of the equation where what if he does and the Browns still decide Dorian Thompson-Robinson is their QB2 instead of Jameis?
That's possible too. Yeah. Just keep Worthy here. Tyler Trowbridge, DK or JMO? Questionable matchup or questionable health?
This is a tough one. It's another tough one. I think if Jameson Williams plays, I roll with him. I think this is going to be a huge Amon-Ra St. Brown game. I think it's going to be a game where Amon-Ra St. Brown has like 10 catches. But it's not a great matchup for DK Metcalf. I just think it's going to be another game where like Seattle doesn't have to throw it much because it's the Patriots. I think he'll be fine, but I think Jameson gives you more upside. But of course, if Jameson, doesn't play, then your decision's made. But assuming Jameson's good to go, I think I just go with Jameson.
Yeah, if he's fully clear by game time, I'm probably rolling with Jameson because don't feel a big DK game either. There we go. Jason Oliveira, Monty or Dobbins? Pat.
I mean, I know Monty can always score, but it's the Bucks. They're still a good run defense. And without a touchdown, what are you getting from Monty? He's not ripping off long runs very often. Like, he doesn't have that home run hitting upside. He's not catching passes. Dobbins gets the Panthers. I think I'm just going to go Dobbins here.
This feels very much like a floor ceiling debate here, right? You want the guy you know will get touches and has that touchdown upside. Probably not a 100-yard game, or the guy who could rip off a big run or could do nothing. Upside goes Dobbins, safe plays Monty. And depends on your roster. Generally, I like to swing for the upside. So I'm just kind of leave it in your hands there. All of a sudden, we got another super chat. From all of a sudden, AJ Brown is questionable. Would you pick up Dotson? You could play D-Rob or Deontay.
I'd probably just play Deontay, honestly. I mean, if you want to wait, I guess you can roll with Dotson, but I don't really expect Dotson to do anything. I'd probably just roll with Deontay.
I'm not expecting much from Dotson anytime real soon. He might get a couple of targets, but I'm not going to put him over either of these guys. So, yeah, just go Deontay here. Unless you want to shoot for the moon with Demarcus Robinson. Hope he has a big game, but I think you can try Deontay this week. All right. And then we got a member question. Remember Thick Fingers? Got that membership.
So,
2 flex PPR team. Who would you start? Deontay or Wandale?
Oh my gosh, you guys with these questions. Like, how is it not just like, oh, come on, Deontay, you play Deontay Johnson. What do you? This is crazy. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't it just be like that? I mean, I know Wandale gets the Commanders, and I know it's a good spot for Wandale, but it does sound like Neighbors is good to go. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if one. See, then I feel like I'm getting into the trap of like, well, last week Deontay sucked, so I don't want to start like, you know what I mean? Just like overreacting to one game. Like, oh, it was terrible last week, so it's gonna be terrible again this week. And then what happens a lot of like I remember last year Drake London had nothing in the first game. Remember that? It was zeros in the first game. And then the next game he went out there and had like a really nice game. And a lot of people benched him, of course. And missed out on those points. I don't know. I think I still have to go Deontay here, but if you want to go Wandale, I'm not like completely opposed to it. If you're like Wandale feels safer to me, fine, go Wandale. But I'm probably going Deontay if it's my team.
Yeah, I know I've talked up Wandale. I'm not gonna give up on Deontay yet. Let's see. Look, if he gives you nothing again this week, okay, keep him firmly planted on your bench. But I think whichever way you go here, I don't think there's another player that's gonna go off to such an extent that it's going to really make or break your week. So let's trust Deontay. They've got to force feed him the ball, don't they?
You would think so.
You would think. Okay. We're still getting up to all the super chats. Guys, if you super chat, we'll definitely get to your questions for sure and do them first. Also, if you have that membership, let's do a quick couple of non-super chats so that we don't only do those. Griff, Neighbors with Godwin.
If I rank these guys, they'd probably be neck and neck. I don't know. Look, again, there's not going to be many weeks where I'm this high on Neighbors. I'll probably be high on Godwin 10 more weeks this year. You drafted Neighbors. Throw them out there this week.
This is the week to start him. Love Godwin, but go Neighbors. See if he goes nuclear. Juan Fernando Escandon. Burrow or Mayfield? I already made this decision. I benched Burrow. I picked up Mayfield. Done with it.
Yeah, give me Mayfield. Give me Mayfield.
I knew I shouldn't have drafted. I knew it. I even said it on the stream. All right. I'm going to assume this is Javonte. George G. You go Javonte or Zeke?
I might honestly go Zeke this week. I mean, it's not a great matchup for either of these guys, but at least I know like that the Cowboys can get near the goal line and give them a chance to score. So give me Zeke this week.
There you go. Biggest Zeke Hater and Javonte Truther. No, you're going Zeke.
Going Zeke.
All right.
Might be the only time I say Zeke all year.
Right. Manuk, Vard Petian. Now, talk about streaming tight end. Zach Ertz or Foster Moreau, or it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. I mean, the guy who was barely out there and somehow scored a touchdown, talking about Foster Moreau, or the guy who was out there quite a bit and hardly got targeted. Like, which one do you want? I don't know. I guess give me Ertz. At least he's out there and he can get more targets.
Yeah, in this matchup, they get the Cowboys. Don't think the Saints will have their way and get to throw it to Foster Moreau and wide open in the end zone quite as much. So let's just see if Ertz gets targeted. All right, so super chat, next one, John S. And we are now, just so everybody knows, we're now just getting to the super chats that came on after we went live, because those were all from before we were even on the air. So we're going to keep working our way up. So just stick with us. John S. Gus the Bus, Charbonnet, Brian Thomas, Mari Cooper. Okay, so only one sits here.
Well, I think Gus Bus sits. Like, I could see this being a week where Gus Bus finds the end zone twice, and you're like, oh no, why did I bench him? But if he doesn't, what are you getting from Gus Bus? I'm sitting Gus.
Yeah, in this case, I think Charbonnet is maybe the best start. Amari Thomas have that big play upside. I'm not out on Gus, but I can sit him here, especially if this is PPR of any sort. Dylan Hunley, welcome back, Dylan. Ooh, Flowers over Devontae. I don't think you can do that.
No, I mean, I like Flowers this week. I think with AJ Brown potentially missing the game or being out there as a decoy, right? Like, oh, he's gonna play, and then he stands on the sidelines with his helmet on the whole time. That's all he does. Yeah, give me Devonta Smith.
Gotta do it. And then should I start Harris or Etienne over Mixon and Henry?
No, start Mixon and Henry.
Nah, definitely go Mixon and Henry again. Feeling a big Henry week. Mixon, I don't know how you can bench him after last week. All right, Old J running. Which Robinson, DeMarcus or Wandale?
You want a floor, you go Wandale. You want to, I don't even know if there's a ceiling for DeMarcus Robinson, but I don't know. I'd probably go Wandale. It's the Commanders.
I think I'm leaning Wandale now too, because I mean, I like him this week, especially. I mean, DeMarcus Robinson definitely could have a good game. We know Kupp, of course, is going to soak up most of the targets, but what if we do see Tyler Johnson still as like the 2 or 3? What if Jordan Whittington actually gets involved and Colby Parkinson? It's like, I don't feel quite as secure about D-Rob, so I'll go Wandale this week, but I do think D-Rob is still startable. Don't get me wrong. All right, Thomas wants to drop Wandale Robinson or Jalen McMillan for Garendo. I would.
What did I miss? Did I miss something with Isaac Garendo? Did Kyle Shanahan say like he's gonna get more involved this week? Like, oh yeah, we didn't like what we saw from Jordan. Like, what did I miss?
Not that I know. I mean, I think it's just the assumption, like, well, he's next in line. What if Jordan Mason goes down, right? It's like the handcuff to the handcuff.
Yeah. I mean, but even if, like, let's say, like, Jordan Mason goes down, are they just rolling with Garendo?
Honestly, I think they just, at that point, just roll with Debo. He's just the running back.
I mean, last week in a blowout, the running backs and Debo combined for 36 carries, and Isaac Garendo had exactly 0 of those. I'm like, yeah, I'm not picking up Garendo.
Well, that's the thing is, it was week 1, but still, they knew Christian McCaffrey before the game, even apparently, like Friday. They knew he wasn't going to play, and they didn't get Garendo involved at all. So I don't think so. Like a lot of these rookies, it's just too early. The coaches do not want to roll a rookie running back out there if they absolutely do not have to. And then they don't have to. They'll just put Debo at running back, which is what they did. So, nah, I wouldn't do this. Jermaine Harris, Kirk or Deontay, the flex.
Two guys who no-showed week 1. I guess Kirk.
Yeah, in this case, I can easily go Kirk because I know he no showed, but I feel pretty confident he will show up, if not this week at some point. I don't know how confident we can feel about Deontay for sure yet, but yeah, I'm going to go Kirk as well. Gray Man Elite. There's that question again, JD or Kyler?
Give me Kyler. I know JD was better than him last week, and look, maybe he'll be better than him again this week, but we've seen Kyler been there, done that many times. Give me Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler's pretty much just start him if you got him. This one's tough for Ford or Najee.
Well, even though I do like Najee this week and he's got a great matchup against the Broncos, I'm still gonna give Ford the edge because of that pass catching. I mean, he can catch 4 or 5. I mean, what do you have, like 6 catches last week? He just gives you, and Najee doesn't give you that anymore for whatever reason. So I'm going Ford.
Yeah, and also Ford pretty much owning that backfield. What if Jalen Warren does get some more involved this week because he's healthier? Just go forward. And not a super chat, but our guy Kevin Trotter is back. What's up, Kevin? So with us all last year. And let's just make this easy. Mason or AJ Brown?
Just go Mason. Don't risk it with AJ Brown. Mason should be great this week. Just put Mason in.
Yeah, don't risk it. Mason secure. Powerhouse. Okay. CMC and Mason for BTJ and Monty.
No. McCaffrey Mason smashes this trade. Even if McCaffrey misses the whole season, I would take Mason over Brian Thomas Jr. or Montgomery.
Right. Yeah, you're not getting enough there for that. I know you're like, well, that's just one player, like one position, right? But BTJ, honestly, what is his upside? You think he's going to be a top 25 receiver? Okay, maybe. Top 10? No, that's not going to happen, right? No. The Mason side with the Montgomery, the McCaffrey Mason side wins. Edward Nolasco. All right, with Walker out, you go Terry, Johnson, Kirk, or Singletary.
Oh, man. I do like Singletary this week. He gets the Commanders. He got pretty much all the touches in that backfield. He caught 4 passes. But he's still Devin Singletary of the Giants. So I think it's between Terry and Deontay Johnson again. Maybe Kirk. It's between those 3 again. I don't know. Maybe I go Kirk here. I don't know why. I feel better about Kirk because I feel like these guys are all kind of the same, but Kirk has Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson. I don't know. It should work out for him. Maybe Kirk. You guys are bringing some tough questions today, man. Tough questions.
I shouldn't be this tough this early in the season, but that's what happens with all these injuries out of nowhere. I'm going to go Kirk. It's not a great matchup on paper, but I feel better about his target share, that offense. I mean, you have to feel better about the Jacksonville offense than the Panthers or the Washington offense. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Kirk. I also learned my lesson last year not to just doubt Kirk, because that when you think you should start him, like he might do nothing, but when you bench him, he goes off. So,
yep.
Just keep him in there. 95. Definitely doing well. Enjoying Saturday. We're talking football. How could we not enjoy it? 12-team full PPR. Needs 2 receivers and the flex. Got Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, Cooper Kupp, Drake London, Jordan Mason. They're not getting easier.
I thought I was just going to easily say the first 3 and be done. Move on. Then you threw Jordan Mason in there. I mean, you got to feel really good about Rice this week against the Bengals with no Hollywood running the new slant boy, the new NFL slant boy, just running unstoppable slants. Just every route, slant, and nobody can stop it. Because you know why? Because of Patrick Mahomes. Because they have to respect everything else. They're like, well, we got to respect the fact that Xavier Worthy can beat us over the top. Kelsey, got the boundaries. And so Rice just running these slants and just racking up all these fantasy points.
I mean, I think Kupp is you have to start Cup, don't you?
Got to start Cup. Cup's a
Yeah.
must. I almost feel like Mason is a must too. I honestly might bench Garrett Wilson and play Rice, just because I was not encouraged by what I saw from Aaron Rodgers last week.
No.
And now they're on the road against the Titans, who have a very, very improved secondary. I just think I feel good enough about Rice. I'm going to go Cup, Rice, and Mason.
Honestly, Cup, you have to start. London is definitely the last of this group, so that makes it a little easier. I agree. You kind of just have to start Rice. The floor is so high. So Cup, Rice, and then maybe let's just roll with Mason and just see if he puts up a game like last week. It's not a tough matchup. It's the Vikings. I mean, rarely will you sit Garrett Wilson unless you have choices like this. There you go. Also, do I flex Monty or B-Rob or Terry McLaurin?
No, I think I'm going Brian Robinson here. Good matchup for him against the Giants. He got involved in the passing game. Again, David Montgomery, I know nobody wants to hear it. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but you take out overtime last week, he completely busted. Bad. Like we're talking less than 50 yards bust. So sure, he could score, but so could Brian Robinson, and Brian Robinson will catch more passes. And he's got a better matchup. I'm going Brian Robinson.
I'm going Brian Robinson too. Clearly the lead back there. It's the Giants. This should be a good week for him. Eventually, this might be Terry, but let's see it first. All right, and then Zach Mudd, 10-team, half PPR. Jefferson, of course. Have 4 other receivers. So who do I start? Who do I sit? Pittman, DJ Moore, Godwin, Neighbors.
All right. Well, I don't know how many you need, so I'll just rank them for you, and then you could start the 2 or 3 or 1 best. I'm gonna go Neighbors 1, Godwin 2. I think I'm gonna go DJ Moore 3 and Pittman 4 this week, only because again, don't love Pittman's matchup, and I don't know if it's a game where the Colts are gonna have to throw a lot because I don't think Green Bay is gonna score many points. And DJ Moore probably without Romo Dunze, possibly without Keenan Allen. So he's going to be my 3rd.
Yep, exactly. Just put in reverse order there. Neighbors, Godwin, Moore, Pittman. That's the order. Moore could get a ton of targets if both those other receivers are out. But Caleb Williams still has a little bit of growing to do. So let's say you got to start Neighbors against the Commanders. And then Godwin is a strong 2. And then Rusty Shackelford. Devontae Smith or Rashee Rice?
Oh my gosh, this is this is so close. So close.
Well, the good news is next week you can probably just sit Waddle and start the other 2.
Yes. And it's unfortunate what happened.
News,
yeah, it's unfortunate what happened and that you already have Waddle in your lineup, because it would have been nice to start Smith and Rice. But on Thursday, we didn't know that there was a chance that that AJ Brown was going to miss the game and that Hollywood Brown might miss the season. Tua might, suffer another concussion at the start of the 3rd quarter, early in the 3rd quarter. So it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Man. I feel like I'm leaning Rice here. Barely.
Well, I don't know. I got to get Smith in there. If AJ Brown's not playing, he'll get a ton of targets. He's good anyways. He's ready. I think even if AJ Brown was playing, I think this would be close. You might lean Rice, but I don't know. I got to keep Smith in there. You really don't have a bad choice here, though, either way. All right, J.R. Fuentes, rate, Dak, Williams, assuming Kyron, I guess, Connor, Walker, Hill, Ayuk, Godwin, Hollywood, Zeke, Cook, another Williams, and Dobbs. This team looked a lot better a week ago.
I'm going to assume that's Brandon Cooks and not James Cook. I really hope you didn't bench James Cook.
I really hope it's not Dalvin Cook.
That too. Both Zeke and Dalvin Cook. Did Dalvin Cook even get a snap last week? I don't even know. he had to be one of the most dropped players after week 1 for sure. I don't know how many teams this is. Kyron, Kenneth, James Conner, Kenneth Walker. Again, I really hope that's not James Cook chilling on your bench. Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin. I mean, the starting lineup is very good. Kyron and Connor. Walker as, I guess, the flex. I don't know. Hill, Ayuk, Godwin at wide receiver. I mean, yeah, Hollywood, okay, that hurts. We'll see about Javonte and Dobbs. Starting lineup, fantastic. Bench, so-so. I'll say an 8.
If we assume this is a 12-team league, yeah, 8 sounds about right. And Walker will be back, a couple weeks, if maybe just 1 week. Hill is still startable for now. So yeah, if this was right after your draft, I might have given this like an 8.5. Knowing what we know now, Hollywood is droppable, unfortunate, but you still got a good team though. Overall, still good. Okay, Demetrios, DK or Godwin?
Well, here I can easily go Godwin. I just feel good enough about his matchup this week. Again, I don't think it's going to be a big DK game again this week, so give me Godwin.
Yeah, give me Godwin too. Very strong start. Rye Raps, what's up? Ryan is in here. Without Kenneth Walker, you go Madison or Gus?
Give me Gus. It's the Panthers, one of the worst run defenses. He'll still get touches. He could still score. I mean, Madison, you're hoping that they're getting blown out again and he catches passes and gets a 31-yard touchdown or something. I don't know. Give me Gus.
Yeah, give me Gus too. Not expecting Madison to really do much. He scored a touchdown last week, that one play. It's out of that one play. No. And he's saying he hopes Love plays. Don't think he's playing. In fact, pretty sure he's not. He's stuck with Baker. You actually should feel pretty good about Baker this week. So
yes, you should.
And then we got JPC 1, 2, 3. What's up? In a PPR league, I have 1 running back, 1 receiver, 1 flex to fill. DK, Tank, Ford, Pollard. Yes, there are concerns with AJ Brown. You should sit him.
Yeah. Flex is definitely going to be. Well, is that Tank Dell or Tank Bigsby? I'm going to assume Tank Dell.
Would assume it's Tank Dell. Let's
hope. So I'm going to definitely flex Tank Dell. Now, if you have AJ Brown, I probably just put Tank Dell in. You need 1 running back.
So either Ford or Pollard at running back. You're saying Ford.
Yeah, Ford at running back, Tank Dell at wide receiver. I mean, probably it's PPR. I probably still flex DK Metcalf.
Yeah, just go with those. And then if you do have AJ Brown in your starting lineup and you have to swap him out with one of these guys, well, then you're going to need to flex Pollard and start DK, and you start all these guys. So just let you know, not worth the risk. All right, let's do, before we get to the next super chat, Eddie Buzz is in the house. This is an interesting question. We don't get a lot of super flex. Lost to have Will Levis and Geno Smith in 2 super flex league. Who is Tua's replacement? His name is Skylar Thompson, and he's not good. Just tell you that.
No, but I mean, is he a worse option in fantasy than Will Levis?
Yes.
He's That's just because you're a Dolphins fan. He's still got Tyreek Hill. He's still got Waddle. He's still got Achane out of the backfield ripping off long receptions. I mean, if you're only QBs in a super flex league or Will Levis and Geno Smith, I'm picking up Skylar Thompson.
I would much rather have Will Levis. Look, you saw him. I know he wasn't expecting to come in, but as a backup quarterback, you should be ready to come in. How did he look in the rest of that game on Monday night?
Thursday night. I mean, how did Will Levis look? And he knew he was the starting quarterback for like 6 months.
He wasn't that bad. Look at Skylar Thompson's career numbers. He had Tyreek Hill 2 years ago. I don't know. I'm not picking him up. Okay, but we do have more super chats still to catch up on, guys. If you did drop one in about the past hour, we're going to get to you, so hold on. But I actually want to stop and remind you of a couple things, because not everybody was with us at the top of the show. We talked about injury updates, and we also talked about this because there are still some people who don't know what Underdog is. We have people ask us, what is it? Is it an app? How do you use it? So it is the place to go for your fantasy picks and weekly tournaments and drafts. You can still draft a team every single week to win some of those big tournaments and do your NFL pick'ems. You pick players that you like to go higher or lower. And there are a ton of options. So if you haven't tried it, I suggest you do so. Check it out right now, because if you sign up for Underdog for the first time, you, along with everybody else, gets that free pick of CeeDee Lamb just getting a yard, and new customers get this free pick of Caleb Williams just getting 1 yard. That's right. If he goes over 0.5 total yards, you take the higher on that one, then you win that pick. So that's a freebie. You take that pick, you combine it with any other pick, good chance to win your very first entry on NFL Pick'ems. They also still have MLB. That's right. The baseball season's not over. And they also have every sport that exists. They will have picks throughout the entire year. So check that all out. And if you do sign up as a new customer, just make sure you sign up using code ENDGAME when it's time to check out. Use that promo code ENDGAME. That gets you not only those free picks, but also deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So definitely a good time to try Underdog. Just go to the App Store, Play Store, download it. And while you're there, you should also, of course, check out Draft Lane, which is our app. Underdog is our partner, but Draft Lane is us, right? Our excellent developer, Ali, created this app, and you can communicate with us directly on here. So basically what we're doing here, answering your questions, start sit, waiver, trade, or just asking any general question, rate my team, whatever. You can ask questions on there on the Draft Lane app at any time. And so here's some examples of what it looks like. You put it in your question, you can ask start sit. And it's not only that we get to respond to you, like instead of saying it here on air, we type it. We can actually have access. If you log in, it syncs with Sleeper and Yahoo, and we can see your roster. We can see your league mates roster when you ask a trade question. And this gives us that full visibility. We can actually give you a more detailed answer. You don't have to type out every single player on your team, and you don't have to explain, well, should I trade this? Well, it's hard to say without knowing who does the other guy have, right? What are the options? We can look through all of the teams in your league and see who would be your best trade partner. So it really gives us a chance to get a lot more in depth, especially for the trades. So we can suggest trades. Hey, why don't you trade with this team and see if you can do this for this? So it's really awesome. We've got a lot of great feedback. These are just some of the questions we've gotten recently, and look how much detail we can provide there. We don't just say, do this. We give you the why. We give you the how. It's like what we do on here, but you can check it anytime, right? So if you aren't able to make it live on the show, or you just don't want to wait, just use the app. So again, it's Draft Lane. It's absolutely free to download, but when you use any of those features, well, right now, as soon as you get there and sign in, if you're new, you get a $10 credit in your account. So you're basically getting some bonus cash there. You can use that for your first couple of questions. So definitely a good time to do it. Again, App Store, Play Store. You can download it for free. Let's get back to the super chats, though, because we have plenty. Little Isaiah, start two receivers and the flex. Dell, Ayuk, London, Rice, Dobbins. Okay, and then an interesting trade offer here. I guess let's do the start sit first.
Start sit is going to be Dell, Ayuk, and Rice. I don't need to start London if I got those options, and I don't need to start Dobbins if I have those options. As for the trade offer, yeah, give me Allen Kincaid. I mean, I know Allen didn't have a big game this week because, James Cook did, so they didn't need him. But Allen showed in week one he's still going to be a touchdown monster on the ground this year, I'm sure. And there's going to be weeks where they're going to actually have to throw the football most of the time, not like this week. So, and I still prefer Kincaid to Andrews. So give me Allen and the Allen Kincaid side.
Right. Still got to prefer Allen to Lamar. And I'm not out on Kincaid. Any more than you should be out on Andrews, right? After week one, people are dropping Andrews. Don't do that. So there you go. Dell, Ayuk, Rice, and the Allen Kincaid side. All right. Thank you, Isaiah. Appreciate that. We got RJ7 Deuce, pick 3, Flowers, London, Neighbors, Ramondre. I guess he's just telling us Lamar is his QB, if that makes a difference.
Well, I don't know. People like to stack. Flowers, Neighbors, Stevenson. Again, I just feel good enough about these guys this week that I don't need to risk it with London. If they go out there this week against the Eagles and Kirk looks like Kirk and London's getting a bunch of targets, awesome. I feel great about him next week. But when I have 3 options that I already feel good about, why take the risk?
Yeah, in this case, I'll agree with you. I'm not out on London, but if you have Ramondre, rock solid, you don't have to sweat it. I don't know if this is PPR or not, but Ramondre, even if they're running behind, like last week, they somehow actually won, right? Patriots were winning. They could just sit back and run the ball. Even if they're down, Ramondre is going to get those receptions. So you got to start Neighbors, start Flowers, not just because you have Lamar, and then let's go Mondre as the third. Now, I know we're still doing super chats. I have to put this one up because I think this is just fascinating. Bryce King in a super flex spot, knowing that T. Higgins is out and Joe Burrow look like trash, and knowing that Kenneth Walker is out and Sharp is the guy in a super flex spot. Would you bench Burrow for Sharps?
I can't do this. Look, we saw Charbonnet a couple times last year as a guy. It wasn't like he went out there and tore it up. And it's the Patriots. So, and I feel like they're just like not gonna have to do much. I don't know. This feels like too much for me. I'm still going Burrow.
Well, all of that said, I would still start Burrow. I mean, he's got to get you some points, right? Like something. So I know it's tempting, but it's super flex. You almost always want to go with the quarterback. So let's go Burrow. Now, this not really a question. Speaking of Bryce King, I feel like this should be the user who says this comment. The card base says Bryce Young to the moon.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Let's just get Bryce Young to like respectable level first.
Yeah, he hasn't even broken like the outer layer of the atmosphere, much less the moon.
No.
He's still firmly got both feet on Earth. Adrian Trevino, T-Law or Baker?
Give me Baker. Give me Baker. T-Law against the Browns, not a great spot for him. Baker should be good again this week.
Yes. Matchup definitely makes you lean Baker. Singletary or Swift in standard?
Man. I think I'm going Singletary. I think he has a better chance to score this week against Commanders. I mean, they pretty much let everybody score last week. So I'll gamble on Singletary getting a touchdown.
This is pretty much neck and neck here. I mean, the thing is with Swift, you would really hope, at the road, Houston, that maybe he catches a lot of passes and he's involved that way. But this is a standard league, so that almost just negates it, right?
Right.
So let's just go Singletary. Black bag. Okay, who are you picking up? Downs, who may be a week off, or A.D. Mitchell?
I think just go A.D. Mitchell for now. Even if Downs plays, he's probably going to be limited. A.D. Mitchell had chances last week. Like, look, he could pull a Keon Coleman this week and do nothing. And if he pulls another week where he doesn't do anything, fine. Then just go pick up Downs. Like, I don't think anybody's rushing out to pick up Downs this week. So I probably go Mitchell, see what he does. If he does nothing, you can look at Downs next week.
There you go. Mitchell didn't, have a lot of, I want to call them counting stats. That's baseball. He didn't really do a whole lot in terms of stats. He had a really good separation score for what that's worth. They chucked it deep. Ashton Doolin got a long touchdown. Alec Pierce had 2 deep passes. But it's not always going to be like that, right? So, yeah, let's just do Mitchell for now. I mean, who's rushing out to pick up Downs now? He's not going to play this week. D-Tons 8 has Ingram and Likely. Okay, got some trade action between tight ends. Likely and Cooks or Swift. Wait, okay, is this Likely, Brooks, or Swift? I'm trying to figure out. Is it Likely or Cooks, or is it Likely and Cooks or Swift? That's
a 10th round pick. So you're literally picking a pick from next year's draft?
Is this a dynasty question?
I mean, I don't know any dynasty leagues that
There's
go
no
10
10th
rounds in rookie drafts. There's not even that many rookies.
I feel like we need some clarification here because I'm trying to figure out if this is and or.
I mean, I'll take I'll take Flowers for Likely and Brandon Cooks. I'll take Flowers for Swift, and I guess a 10th round pick, which is about where Brandon Cooks went. Yeah, I'll take Flowers for either of those. Honestly, I guess I would prefer Swift in the 10th round pick because what if something happens to Ingram and you need Likely? But I don't know. Either one. I would take Flowers over either one of those.
Okay, so I think if I'm understanding right, I think it's either Flower or Diggs, one of those guys, plus Ertz in a 4th rounder, and then it's Likely, and then either Cooks or Swift, and a 10th rounder. So let's say Likely Cooks in a 10th for Flowers, Ertz in a 4th.
I mean, give me Flowers, Diggs in a 4th.
Yeah, I'll take the Flowers side. Yeah.
Oh wait, Flowers or Diggs, Flowers Ertz.
Flowers
yeah,
or
I'll
Diggs.
still take the Flowers side. Whatever the combo is here, I'll still take the Flowers side. He's by far away the best player in this draft.
You trade Likely to get Flowers, and you're getting the 4th round pick instead of the 10th round pick. Yeah, do that. All right, Zach Ames, Diggs, Ridley, or Pollard.
I mean, I think you still got to go Diggs. If he doesn't score a touchdown this week, maybe it's like, oops, shouldn't have started Diggs. But I mean, Ridley against the Jets, Pollard also against the Jets. I know Jordan Mason had a nice game against him, but Jordan Mason runs behind the 49ers offensive line. So just give me Diggs.
Yeah, this week I'll go Diggs. Some weeks you might go Ridley. Not this week. Let's go Diggs. Just real quick, Ice Cold Jones. Is the Madden curse real?
No, it's not. But there is something with the 101 in fantasy, the consensus 101. This is many years in a row now where the 101 has either not been very good or gotten hurt or both. So there's something up with the 101. But no, wasn't there you can go back to the Maddens and there's been guys that have been on the Madden cover that were great. Wasn't Patrick Mahomes on the Madden cover last year? Or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like QB1.
Yeah. No, I'm not a curse believer. Okay. Let's get back to the super chats. Austin J, what's up? Okay, so the question: McCaffrey and Walker are both out. Fun times. Who do I start? Pollard, Mason, Ford, Edwards. I don't know if you need 2.
Yeah, I assume you need 2 since they're both out. I'm going to Mason for sure. Ford and Pollard is close for me. But again, I just like Ford's usage a little bit more. And he's not going up against the Jets. So I'm going to go Ford slightly over Pollard.
Yeah, Mason's got to be your 1 here. Ford is the 2. All right, Mary Jo, 18 PPR. This is the lineup. This is the bench. You slotting in anybody here? Well, AJB needs replacing, I think.
Yeah, I might just go Worthy over AJB. I mean, there's a good chance he does not play on Monday night. And what are you going to do if you don't have somebody? If you had somebody like if you had London, because they play each other Monday night, right? Like if you had London, I'd say, okay, maybe move AJB to the flex, put this guy in, and then if AJB doesn't play, you can go to London. But who are you going to pivot to if AJB doesn't play? You're going to run out and grab. I mean, you can't even drop it. You're going to drop somebody to get Darnell Mooney to throw him in or Jahan Dotson. I think just put Worthy in over AJB and don't risk it.
Yeah, not worth risking it. It's kind of annoying. You feel like you should be able to just put Harrison in there, but Pittman most weeks will be fine, but I think I like Worthy better this week as well. So let's do that. Swap out AJB for Worthy. Don't take the risk. Jason Burris needs 2. Mason, Henry, or Gibbs.
Look, I have Mason and Henry in a league, and I'm starting Mason over Henry. I just feel better about knowing he's going to get the touches. I think he could be just as good as Derek or better than Derrick Henry this week. Even though I'm not alpha Derrick Henry, I just feel better about Mason this week. I know he's going to get all the work there. And then Gibbs going to be my number 2. So Mason and Gibbs for me.
I can't bench Henry or Gibbs. I mean, I know Mason should have a big week. I don't know. And I would go Henry Gibbs. Of course, this doesn't say if it's PPR or not. I mean, you could potentially have 3 top 10 running backs this week. So again, you don't have any bad choices here. This is not a clear, obvious one. My gut's telling me Derrick Henry, big week. I'm starting Derrick Henry and Gibbs. I don't know if you ever sit Gibbs. So your choice there, Jason. Stephon Barr, CMC on IR. What do I do? Okay, well, we did talk about this at the top. He says his running backs are Najee, CMC, and Moss.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly doesn't feel good. And like I said in the beginning, you could trade him, but you got to get okay, I assume you're going to want a running back. So if I'm going to trade CMC for a running back, I mean, I doubt anybody's giving you Brees or Bijan, of course, because, they're healthy and he's not. I doubt anybody's giving you Saquon. I doubt you're getting Gibbs. Maybe JT, maybe Kyron, maybe Pacheco is a possibility. I doubt you're getting Achane. If I could get somebody, maybe Derrick Henry, but then I can't just get one of those running backs. You got to send me a wide receiver, I don't know, something, maybe a gamble on a guy like Terry McLaurin, George Pickens, who didn't have a huge week one, Christian Kirk, somebody who I feel fairly good about as a potential wide receiver too as well. Otherwise, I'm just holding here.
Yeah, I mean, your running back room, you're only listing 3. Obviously not very deep, so I would definitely try to make a move. But again, don't sell low here. Don't just settle for any running back, who you feel like is startable, but don't trade CMC for David Montgomery, something like that.
Right.
Dicer 007. Fantasy wise, no.
I can't do this. I can't. Okay, maybe you could convince me Daniels has more upside than Mahomes. But the risk is significantly higher with Daniels. You take out those 2 rushing touchdowns last week, what did you get from Daniels? He's not going to throw for a ton of yards. He's probably not going to throw for many touchdowns. Sure, he can rush for 70, 80 yards, but yeah, I'm still going Mahomes here.
There's really no reason to be down on Mahomes. I mean, I know he didn't have his best fantasy season ever last year. And yeah, Hollywood's out. That's not great. We thought this wide receiver room would get a massive upgrade, but I mean, you really have no reason to doubt Mahomes. You don't want to take the risk on here. So no, just go with Mahomes. Mumble Dragon. Rest of season, Debo or Reed and Higgins.
Just give me Debo, especially if he's going to be in this role where he's getting carries. We don't know the status on Higgins. I'm sure Higgins will be back at some point, but we also don't know the status of this Bengals offense. Just give me Debo here.
Yeah, I am not actively trading for Higgins anywhere. Reed will be fine, but just now knowing CMC's out, Debo is going to be more involved as a runner. Take the better player then. Raman Singh, pick 4 in PPR. Mondre, Monty, Sharps, Olave, Ayuk, Harrison.
I'm going to sit. We're sitting 2 here, right? I'm going to sit Monty and Harrison. Olave, Ayuk, I feel strong enough about wide receiver. I'll just start them. I feel good enough about Mondre and Charbonnet at running back this week that, again, I could see Marvin Harrison getting more involved. I mean, he's almost certainly got to be better this week. Let's hope he's better. And sure, Monty could score. But Mondre's getting all the touches. Charbonnet's getting all the touches. Olave and Ayuk have upside. I'm just going to sit Harrison and Monty this week.
Agree. Yep. You don't need to risk Harrison when you got those other receivers. And knowing that Sharp's getting all the touches, go with him over Monty. So Mondre, Sharps, Olave, Ayuk. Those are your 4. Justin Jimenez needs 2. Smitty, Adams, Sharps, or B-Rob. This is full PPR.
You got to go Devonta Smith. I mean, I know it feels like it should be Adams, but man, I don't know. What's the upside with Adams? This is where I always feel bad because, like, if it's my team, I will have no regrets if I start Zach Charbonnet and Adams outscores him. I don't do that. It's like people are like, oh, I should have started this guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why did I do? Like, I just move on. I'm like, oh well, and I just move on.
Yeah.
But this is your team. This is Justin's team. So now it's a way bigger sense of responsibility for me. And can I really, in good conscience, tell Justin to bench Devontae Adams for Zach Charbonnet or Brian Robinson? Probably not. Go Smith and Adams. But if it's my team, I don't care. I'm starting Charbonnet over Adams all day. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't think Adams is going to have a big game, bigger than those others? You wouldn't start him, then you wouldn't want to tell someone else to start him because you think the other guy is going to have a bigger game. I agree. You got to start Smith. It's on the road against Baltimore. Gardner Minshew's still the quarterback. Let's go for Charbonnet and see what happens. Joseph Gurges, 12 team, half PPR, double flex, no tight end. That's the way to go. London was dropped. I made a trade to get myself that extra dollar fab. That's what I'm talking about. That is very end game move of you. Do I do 101 to secure him? Do you just
yeah? I mean, look, maybe London will be a total bust this year, but is there really like going to be a guy like London on the waiver wire?
I mean, this guy was a top 15 pick in a lot of leagues, top 20 pick. We cannot, after one game, just give up on him. I mean, come on.
Right.
Yes, just empty the wallet, get him. It's worth it. Yes. And then how many, barring injury, how many times during the season is there a wide receiver that's going to come available on the waiver wire? Like, oh man, I wish I had fab left so I can get that guy instead. You know, right. I have guys like Devontae Smith and Chris Godwin. You know, it's like, no, just do it. JPC123 again. All right, would you trade CMC for Tank, Ford or Pollard, or DK in either Ford or Pollard?
Yeah, see, I don't think this is enough for me. And I really like Tank Dell and I really like DK Metcalf. I put Tank Dell on the buy low, my first guy I talked about, and I mentioned on there that I'm probably going to talk about DK Metcalf next week after he has another potentially down game this week. But I still don't know if this is enough for CMC. I mean, again, like, if he comes back week 6 and he's fine, is Tank and Ford or Tank and Pollard or DK and Ford or DK Pollard enough? I don't think so. I need a tier up from these guys. So I would need a Devonta Smith, a Chris Olave, a Brandon Ayuk, maybe not a Waddle right now. You know what I mean? Like a tier up from these guys.
Yeah. And I'm still high on DK the rest of the season, not high on him this week. Yeah, I just wonder, DK Ford, is that really improving your team enough? You know what I mean? A Ford, is an RB2. He can get you by. Just don't know that DK could be a potential league winner. So try to get more. Todd Palmer, James Conner, Josh Jacobs.
Again, I think we had something similar to this very, very early. And I know I put Josh Jacobs on the boom, and I certainly think Josh Jacobs could boom. There's certainly a path where the Packers give Josh Jacobs 25 touches this week and he booms. There's also a path where the Packers offense is completely inept and everybody just busts. I feel good enough about James Conner. I'm not going to risk it with Jacobs. Just give me Conner.
Yep. Definitely going Conner here. Feel pretty good about his usage. He's going to be involved, like very involved here. Not a bad matchup. So eliminate the risk. What is up? Rise above anything. With the tough question, Flex Mason or Devontae Smith?
If it's PPR, I'm going to go Smith. If it's non-PPR, let's go Mason. Very tough choice here, and I think they're both going to be great.
Yeah, I got to start Devontae Smith. For me, he's always kind of a borderline must start anyways. The A.J. Brown out, I got to start Devontae Smith. Like, there's just no question. All right, and then Nicholas Coletti, Full PPR, got Lamb, Collins, Devontae, B-Rob, Najee. Flexing Olave or Sharps?
I'm flexing Olave and PPR. I mean, again, Charbonnet, sure. Very, very startable this week, but
Well,
not over.
what I'm doing, if he's got Najee, I mean, would you swap out Najee for Charbonnet?
I probably would, actually, because Charbonnet will at least catch some passes, and they'll probably get similar amount of work. So I probably will put Charbonnet in over Najee.
Yeah, you can start both. Definitely flex Olave. Yeah, go Sharps over Najee. All right, Tony Thomas, full PPR, flex Kirk, D-Rob, or Singletary.
Yeah, in PPR, I still got to roll with Kirk. I just think he has way more upside than those other guys.
Yes, this one, go Kirk. Maybe Robinson does something, but maybe he doesn't. Reborn in half. Pittman, Ayuk, Collins, Godwin, pick 3. So who sits?
Pittman sits, especially in half PPR. Those other guys have way more upside. Pittman sits.
Pittman does sit. Ayuk should bounce back. Godwin's almost a must start this week, and got to go Collins over Pittman. So there you go. Pittman sits this week. Professor Antonio Neto, welcome. Should I accept this trade? Brian Thomas Jr. for Charbonnet.
I would prefer Brian Thomas Jr. Charbonnet, it doesn't sound like Kenneth Walker is looking at any kind of like long term. Of course, we say that, and then what's gonna we're gonna wake up tomorrow. Oh, Kenneth Walker going on IR. It's gonna require surgery, right? Like, oh,
Please
out of nowhere. But it doesn't sound like this is gonna be a long term thing for Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet is gonna go back to just pretty much being a handcuff pretty soon. Give me the rookie.
Yeah, take advantage of this hopefully small window of time where Charbonnet all of a sudden has this great trade value. Charbonnet's on waiver wires in a lot of leagues, so if you're able to get a solid receiver for him, do it. Robert Mitchell, what's up, Robert? So AJ might not play. Are you sticking Tank Dell in the spot no matter what?
Yeah, unless tomorrow morning or sometime overnight or tomorrow morning between now and when the games start tomorrow, we hear definitive news like, hey, he's 100% fine. There's going to be no limitations. He's playing. Fine. Then I'll play AJ Brown. But in any other case, just put Tank Dell in.
Yeah, there's no reason to sit around to wait. Tank Dell is probably a solid start anyways. So there you go. Don't wait, Robert.
And also, you're saying you've got Goddard in the flex spots. So that's great because if AJ Brown does play, you can just put him in over Goddard. So just another example of why you always put the player playing last in your flex spot because it gives you more flexibility if you can, of course.
Right. There you go. That's why we're saying like on Thursday, Achan, okay, we had Achan, not sure. Okay, if you knew you were playing him, put in the RB spot, not the flex.
Right.
John Carballo got Reed, Michael Wilson, Bigsby, or Trenton Irwin.
Trenton Irwin? Okay, look, I'm worried for Reed. He's a little banged up and he's got Malik Willis, but I can't start any of these guys over Jaden Reed. If Jaden Reed busts for me, oh well. These guys can all bust too.
Right. Only if he's ruled out or you hear something very, very concerning right before game time. But keep Reed in there. If Reed is somehow scratched or something like that, well, maybe Wilson.
I guess. He scored, but that was his only catch.
Yeah.
But it is the Rams, so maybe Wilson. It is the Rams, so maybe Wilson.
All right. Dan O, re-up to the membership. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. League mate who has Higgins, Puka, and CMC.
That's
and you know
brutal.
what? That at that point you should panic. Okay, I get that because they're both on IR and Higgins, who knows if he's even going to play. Whom to trade for? Have Gibbs, Connor, Monty, Moss, Mostert, CD Cup, Wilson, Smith, Waddle, JMO. So
all right, let's take advantage of your poor league mate here. He probably thinks Monty is the guy in Detroit still. So let's package Monty. I mean, we probably can't trade Waddle anymore because everybody saw what happened.
He's panicked. He doesn't have Puka or Higgins. He needs a healthy body. Maybe he does want Waddle.
I mean, maybe you could try Monty and Waddle for CMC or Puka. Gibbs, Connor. I mean, you're pretty deep at wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb, Cup, Garrett. Well, you don't really need wide receiver help. I'd probably go try to get CMC. So Monty Waddle for CMC, maybe, or yeah, I'd probably even do Monty and Jameson for CMC.
Yep. Give him 2 healthy bodies, 1 at each position. He'd probably go for that. I really think maybe not. Maybe doesn't like the Lions. Whatever. try it first. Don't trade any of those first receivers. Don't give him CD or Cup, especially, or Wilson or Smith. Don't need to go that high. All right. We have Mr. Zettel, 15. All right.
What's up?
Let's see. There's a question here. Maybe it's before. Oh, you found it. All right. Mason, London, and Watson for Jacobs and Reed. A lot of Packers.
Man, this is really tough. This is really tough because what if this is just a lost season for CMC? And what if Jordan Mason is this year's Kyron Williams? I know, you know what I mean?
It is possible.
And you trade him away. I mean, you're getting Jacobs and Reed, so it's not like you're getting nothing for him, but man.
Yeah, I'm preferring the first side. I don't know if that's a side you already have. I don't feel like getting Jacobs and Reed is a win in this situation.
Yeah. And you can wait. You don't have to trade Mason right now. Because you know he's going to be the starter for the next 4 games at least. I just really worry, like, what if he is this year's Kyron Williams and you trade him away? So yeah. Just hold the Mason side for now.
Right. Don't know if you're getting that side or giving, but definitely we prefer the Mason side here. All right, then Nick Walker, Dell or Devontae?
I think you got to go Devonta Smith now.
Mm-hmm.
With AJ Brown unlikely to play, even though I do like Tank Dell a lot this week. I think you still got to go Devonta Smith.
Got to go Devontae Smith. Like, Dell is one of 3 viable receivers the Texans have. Devontae might be one of the only viable receivers that they throw to. Got to go Devontae, and then Andrews or Parkinson?
Andrews. Parkinson, like, you lost Njoku, you lost Ferguson. Go get Parkinson off the waiver wire. Fine. Not over Andrews.
Right. Parkinson is probably one of the best streamers, pickups at tight end, but you don't have to bench Mark Andrews. Tristram is back, and he wants to know Odunze or Bucky. Well, got some news for you. Odunze might not be playing.
Yeah, Odunze probably not going to play, and even if he does, I mean, he hasn't practiced all week, I don't think. Like, just go with Bucky Irving and hope he gets carries.
Right, exactly. Even if he does play, how good do you feel about him? He didn't do anything last week. Caleb didn't look great last week. Nah, just go Bucky. Also, will Trey Benson start to mix in?
Maybe.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, probably more like if he does, it's probably going to be more like second half of the year.
Right. That's exactly why I like James Conner a lot this week, because you know it's going to take time for these rookie running backs to really get involved. It's not happening yet. Benson got 3 carries last week? Nah, you can't trust him. Swagger Jones, Geno Smith or Derek Carr? Open Superflex.
Give me Geno against the Patriots. I mean, I'm not really feeling great about either of these guys. Like Derek Carr on the road against the Cowboys. But at least Geno is at home, right? He's at home, I'm pretty sure. At home against the Patriots. No, he's on the road against Patriots as well, but still, I think I'm going Geno.
Yeah, still a much better matchup than Carr against those Cowboys. Look, and there's one thing you might consider too. I kind of thought about this. It's not like I'm all of a sudden in on Seattle wideouts this week, but if Kenneth Walker is out, they're probably going to have to rely on the pass more, right? I mean, they're not going to give Charbonnet 20 plus carries. I doubt it. So go Gino. John Carballo, another one. Devontae Smith or Kirk?
Smith, definitely. Even if AJB was fully healthy, I'd still go Smith.
Right. Go Smith for sure. Taysom Hill. Do we roll the dice with him or Colby Parkinson?
Nah, you know what? Last week I fell for the Taysom trap. I was like, oh, he's gonna get going. Oh, go ahead, stream him. He did nothing. Done. Moving on. Give me Parkinson.
Just go Parkinson. All right. This is a fair question. Ryan Eddy, would you release T. Higgins? Let him free.
No.
I mean,
at least try to trade him.
Right. Exactly. Don't just drop him. He could technically play, although I didn't feel too great, even though it validated my fears from the very beginning, is when he said something like, I'm not going to play unless I'm completely healthy and I decide I'm ready. It's like, okay, yeah, he's basically holding in. Come on. He's fine. Roll one for me. Stevenson or Ford?
These guys feel very similar. Gonna get the volume, gonna catch some passes, could or could not score. But I feel like the difference, the thing that I like about Ford, a couple things I like about Ford is, first of all, the Browns with Kevin Stefanski, they snap the ball with it's like the play ends and then they just like quickly huddle, slap, and get in and snap the ball. And then the play, and they're just like, right? They're running like 70 plays a game. So that means more opportunities for Ford. The Patriots are out there like, there's still 10 seconds on the play clock, guys. Hold on. You know what I mean? They're like just dragging the clock out, playing these slow games. And Ford does catch more passes. So I'm still going to give Ford the slight edge here, but this is very close.
Very, very similar type of players. The matchup doesn't really make me lean one way or another. So, yeah, you like Ford. I'll go Ford too. I think it's fine. It's pretty close. Sean Yee traded Ramondre for B-Rob. Good or bad?
We'll see. I really don't have a strong feeling either way on this, to be honest. I feel like Brian Robinson might be slightly better at the end of the year. Ramondre Stevenson might be slightly better at the end of the year, or they might be neck and neck by the really. I don't have a strong opinion either way here. Definitely not a bad trade though. Definitely not bad.
No, not a bad trade. Again, if you ask me like right now, Ramondre or Jerome Ford, to me, it's like same guy, almost the same coin flip. This one I'll say Ramondre I feel is going to get a little bit more value in terms of receiving, but I feel like Robinson has more touchdown potential. So I would say in a PPR league, it's pretty close. If it's half or standard, might give the edge to B-Rob and say what's good, but it's pretty close. All right, impromptu lightning rounds as we continue to catch up to your super chats. So again, we're running behind because you guys have so many questions and they're not all easy ones, but let's do some of these. I know these are not easy questions too. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time. So
all right,
don't even try to think. Just what does your gut say? Ed Lynch, Ayuk or Neighbors?
Ayuk.
I told you. Yeah, I would still start Ayuk. All right, Felix, Mason or Kyron?
I think I still got to go Kyron.
Yeah, I got to go Kyron too. All right, Aiden Park, Fields or Burrow?
Burrow.
I might go Fields. Just to be honest, I might go Fields. Yes, I'm not down on Burrow. All right, what about this one? Stanley, Boloski, Worthy or Ridley?
Worthy, definitely Worthy.
Yes, definitely Worthy here. And one more. What about Riedel, Ford or Charbonnet in full PPR?
It's close, but I'll go Charbonnet.
Yeah, I think swing for the upside here with Charbs. Let's see what happens there. Okay, I lied. One more. This is a good one. Matt Taylor, Dobbins or Olave at the flex?
Olave.
Definitely Olave. All right. Next super chat goes to Big Root. Kyler or Mayfield?
Well, I assume standard league means like a 4-point passing touchdown league and no crazy bonuses. I like Baker, but not over Kyler Murray. Not over Kyler Murray.
Right. Exactly. I have Mayfield. It's a strong streamer and pickup. I have Kyler as a must start. Still go Kyler. Gabriel, Polk, 18. Got Kyler, Gibbs, Mason, Nico, Tyreek, Laporta, Rice, and Jags. Some good players on the bench there. Dropped DeAndre Swift for a defense.
Not good. Not good. I mean, I know you needed a defense, but why not drop like Bigsby or Blake Corum or Adonai Mitchell? Like somebody who is not potentially the lead back for their offense. Not good. Try to get Swift back next week if you can.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he dropped Swift for week 3. Why can't you just drop the Jags after this week? Like we're
I'm just gonna say right now, never you drop a defense for a defense.
Yeah, you really don't need to stash. And look, I don't know who the Raiders play week 3 because I haven't looked at defensive streaming for next week. It can be so good that the Raiders defense is a must add. I'm just saying.
Well, it's because they get the Panthers, but still, like it's week 3. You don't need to be hoarding defenses.
Yeah.
Try to get Swift back if you can.
Yeah, not good. It's too late now, but yeah, drop the Jags defense, I guess, after this week to get Swift. Carnelius, asked to trade Mason Shaheed for Worthy and Mixon. Don't know if he has CMC or not, but I mean, I guess just in a vacuum right now, you go Mason Shaheed or Worthy Mixon. I feel like the Worthy Mixon side seems better, but what if?
I know.
He doesn't come back.
Like it feels like you should take Worthy and Mixon, but again, what if he is this year's Kyron?
And he's saying hold on to CMC status. I mean, we know what his status is. He's missing 4 weeks. Are we going to sit and wait for a month to see what his status is? By then, it might be too late. I mean, I do feel like Mason's trade value can only go up, right? It might just get better if he has another big game this week.
Yeah, I think it might be a mistake, but like I know Mixon was so good in week 1, but I mean, that was such a weird game because the Colts only ran 45 plays because they had 2 huge touchdowns where it's like one snap touchdown. And so the Texans had the ball a ton. It's not going to be like this every week for Mixon. He's going to come back down to earth and be more normal. And Worthy's going to be very volatile. I think right now I'm just going to hold Mason. Maybe it'll end up being a mistake, but man, it's just so hard for me to trade Jordan Mason right now. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good time to get Worthy because of Hollywood's possibly done for the season. But I also got to think, like you said, I wasn't super high on Mixon in the preseason. You got to wonder how sustainable it is. If you have Mason, probably just hold him. All right, Frank, 2 times. Start 2, Flowers, Olave, Pittman, Reed, Pickens, Worthy. Only 2.
I still got to go Flowers, Olave. I know Worthy is very tempting this week. I'm not really feeling a big Pittman game. Reed, very risky, banged up, and Malik Willis. And Pickens, also very risky, Pat Surtain. So give me Flowers and Olave.
Agree. All of these are good receivers. All have upside. The guys who have the least risk are Flowers, Olave. If you want to shoot for the big play, big game, you could throw Worthy in there instead of Flowers. But if it's my team, I'm going Flowers, Olave as well. Ivan Rebollar from Mexico. Welcome, Ivan.
What's up?
All right, have 2 spots for the flex and 1 for receiver. We got Harrison Jr., Neighbors, Olave, B-Rob, and JK.
All right. So wide receiver is going to be Olave. 1 flex is going to be Neighbors, and the other flex for me is going to be Brian Robinson Jr. over Dobbins and Harrison.
Yeah, this is the week. You got to roll Neighbors out. So he's your receiver, Olave, and B-Rob. There you go. I know it's tempting to start JK, but you don't have to. that'll be one of the really out of all the players. I'm fascinated to see how they do in week 2. J.K. Dobbins is up there. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
does he look
for
like?
sure.
All right, so the next user is Jew Brownie, who has his own logo too. JB. We'll just go with JB. Full PPR, 12 man. Watson, Cooks, Jacoby.
You can't start Watson with Malik Willis. Myers is interesting, but I feel like he's more like a floor play. I think I got to go Cooks for the upside.
I would go Cooks here. Yeah, not a great matchup for the Raiders. Watson, definitely risky. Go Cooks. All right, Tris keeps asking this. You want an opinion? Fine. Here we go. Return of the Jedi or Rogue One?
I have not seen either.
What? Not seen either?
Neither.
All right, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen then. Rogue One's a good one, but I definitely like Return of the Jedi. In fact, it's funny you ask. I have my original copy of the manuscript right here.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
This is the OG. It's oh, is this the one? No, I have to find it. I know we're getting very sidetracked, but that's okay. It's our show.
Yes.
Had an interview with the actual author of the screenplay. Look at that. James Caan. Look it up. All right. Enough Star Wars chat. Chris, again, I forgive you because we're good like that. There's your answer, Tris. It's clearly Return of the Jedi. Master Zonk, you're welcome. Thank you for being on here as always. Amari Cooper, Scary Terry, Brian Thomas, Demarcus Robinson, Marvin Harrison, pick 2.
Cooper for sure. Then very, very risky behind him. Man. Do I just gamble on Marvin Harrison? Terry? I think I might just gamble on Marvin Harrison here.
All pretty risky. I'll say that. Got some upside. Amari is one you feel best about.
Yeah, I think Amari's the one I feel best about, actually. Even though I know he was terrible last week, I think he's gonna be much better this week.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about Harrison right about now. I might go the first 2. Might go Terry over Harrison, but again, you're taking on risk either way. I mean, honestly, you're just like, well, let's try Demarcus Robinson and let's see. I think BTJ is the last option here. So Cooper, I guess, is the one we pretty kind of sure about.
Yeah, and just a heads up for you, those of you with Jameson Williams, this isn't a guarantee or anything, but the Detroit Lions did elevate wide receiver Tom Kennedy and wide receiver Tim Patrick from the practice squad. So elevating 2 wide receivers, not a good sign for Jameson. So just keep that in mind. We'll see, though. We don't know that.
Definitely not a good sign. All right. Sorry, this definitely caught my eye. We have I think a new user here. Norgus, the Orca Whale.
All right.
No, there was such a name. Devontae Smith or DK Metcalf?
Smith, definitely with AJ Brown looking very, very doubtful for Monday night. But even if AJ Brown was playing, I'd still go Devontae Smith.
Yeah, it would be Devontae Smith no matter what. Dustin Forsberg at the membership. Thank you, Dustin. And we do put up questions, as many as we can from our members. So we'll do that if we see one. Michael H. dropped a super chat. And here's the question. Defense. Seattle going against Patriots or the Texans, who are at home going against Chicago?
I think I got to go Seattle against the Patriots. I don't know. Like, Caleb could bounce back, and it wasn't like Caleb was a turnover machine in week 1. In fact, he didn't turn the ball over at all, and he's very elusive. So I'm going to go Seahawks.
Yeah, because you look, the Bears hardly did anything on offense. It's not because he was getting picked off and sacked and all this. And I think he'll be okay. I'll go Seahawks here as well. How about Blue Lobster? We are apparently not just great, but beyond great. I like that.
Thank
But
you.
this is the Superflex League. So let's do this. We always love the Superflex questions. Start 2. Ford, Fields, Tank, Keenan, McConkey.
I might just go Tank Dell.
Was this start 2?
Oh, start 2?
Gotta
Tank
go
and
Fields, don't you?
Tank and Fields. At least Fields runs. At least he runs. Keenan
Yeah.
Allen, less than 100%. Ford is fine. McConkey, Tank and Fields.
Yeah, I'm going Tank and Fields as well. There you go. All right, thank you. Cameron Peterson. Here we are. Chase Brown, Tyjae Spears, Alexander Madison, Justice Hill, or Jaleel McLaughlin.
All right. See, I don't like Justice Hill this week because I don't feel like they're gonna. I mean, I know they're not gonna drop back 57 times. Chase Brown against the Chiefs. Tyjae Spears with Brian Callahan saying we got to get him more touches. It means he'll probably get even less touches. Jaleel against
Doesn't matter.
the Steelers. Doesn't matter. I guess Madison, and hope he catches passes again.
That's the point that with the Raiders, on the road against Baltimore, I feel like Baltimore's steamrolling them.
Yeah.
Maybe he catches passes. It's either that or Chase Brown, and you just, light a candle and hope that he hits a home run. Like it goes for a long run. Probably Madison's the smartest pick. Luis Trejo, half PPR, Monty or Moore?
Give me DJ Moore. Romo Dunze almost certainly not playing. Keenan Allen, very questionable to play. Caleb's probably going to be better this week. Give me DJ Moore in half PPR.
Yeah. In this one, in half or any PPR, go DJ Moore. Should at least have a pretty high floor. Nothing else. We'll see. DJ Moore it is, but did you die? Pick 3. B-Rob, Ford, Rashad White, or Jordan Mason? Who sits?
I think you got to start Jordan Mason and Rashad White. And then it comes down to Ford and Brian Robinson. But I like Brian Robinson's matchup better this week against the Giants. So I'm going to go Mason, White, and B-Rob.
Yep, exactly what I'm thinking. Out of this group, I can say Mason as a lock. I like B-Rob. Think he could go off this week. Ford, White, pretty close. But based on the matchup, White probably should have a lot of receptions. So let's go White. Jason Quinones with another one receiver, one PPR. Oh, okay. It's a 1 PPR. Okay. DK or Cooper?
Cooper. I like Cooper bounce back this week. Again, I don't feel like it's going to be a big DK week again this week. So give me Cooper.
Give me Cooper too. And then on defense, Denver or Houston?
I mean, I know Denver gets the Steelers, but yeah, give me Houston.
No, not starting Denver anything right now, but especially the defense. I mean, they didn't get embarrassed last week, but they didn't look good. I'm not starting Denver defense. It's Houston. All right, Hubra needs to catch up for Allen not going off because, of course, got CD Pittman and Sharb. Needs a running back in a flex between Mondre, B-Rob, Cooper, London.
Cooper at the flex for sure, especially if you need upside. And then again, I just think Brian Robinson has more upside than Ramondre Stevenson this week because of the matchup. So I'm going Cooper and B-Rob for the upside.
Yeah, running back, go B-Rob. Got him barely over Ramondre, and then Cooper at the flex. Yeah, and Charbonnet still putting him over Mondre, right? Need the upside.
Yeah, barely.
Okay, there you go. So B-Rob and Cooper it is. All right, let's do Andy Klein. This is an interesting one because I just finished saying I'm not going with any Broncos Would you go Tyler Lockett or Cortland Sutton? I know you can't really be stoked by either, but you got to start one.
No, but you know what? Cortland Sutton, we know is going to get like almost every target with 12 targets last week. At least the targets are there for him. He could score. I'm going Sutton.
Yeah, in this case, at least he's got that floor, got a ton of targets, and also Valet, who got 8 last week, he's out. And so, really, who else do they have to throw to? Just go Sutton. And then K Sirius. Pick 2. Dell, Ramondre, or Sharps? It's PPR.
Dell and Sharps barely over. Dell for sure. Like Dell for sure. Sharps barely over Ramondre.
Right. Dell is for sure. Sharps is next. Exactly. Dustin Forsberg, here's his question. 12 team, got Mayfield, Achane, Ford, DJ Moore, Lamb, Olave, Parkinson, Cowboys, and Santos, and then a bench with guys like that. Thoughts?
I'm going Cooper over DJ Moore. I feel really good about Cooper this week. DJ Moore's fine, but I think I'm going Cooper over him. But everything else looks good.
Yeah, would not change anything else. It should be fine for this week. Overall, good. Look, I know you're not necessarily as sold on some of these players like you would have been before last week. Let's give it time. Olave should be good. Achane, I think if nothing else, shouldn't really be affected negatively. Maybe even somehow get a boost. I doubt it, but somehow get a boost.
You know, you gotta be feeling really good if you have Achane, because here he is coming off an ankle injury where it's like, oh, is he gonna play? And Mike, okay. I like Mike McDaniel. I don't want to rail on Mike McDaniel, but his play calling at the end of the half was atrocious. Like not even trying to like score, just like settling for a field goal, I guess. And also, you're getting blown out. Your quarterback just got hurt. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the bench with their helmets off. You have a 180-pound running back who's coming off an ankle injury. Why are you still giving this guy the ball? Did he do this last year with, was it like Jalen Phillips or who was it? Where it was like the game was over, no need to be out there, and then the guy got the season-ending injury, one of your best like what are you doing? Who's out there telling Mike McDaniel, like, give Jalen Wright the ball, not Devon Achane. We can't lose Achane. That being said, you got to feel good about Achane. Treated like a workhorse coming off an ankle injury.
Yeah. And Mostert probably going to miss. Well, I think you'd miss at least one more game. So, yeah. Anyways, overall, pretty solid team. So, everything else looks good there. Let's go to Victor Figueroa. Has Richardson, Najee, B-Rob, Ayuk, Waddle, Pitts, Mason. Got CMC and Puka double whammy. Do you still have a chance?
Come on. First of all, you got Mason, so you're good there. But you still have a good team. You got Ayuk, Waddle, Brian Robinson, Najee. Puka's going to come back at some point. CMC's going to, like I said, like even if you're 3-3 when these guys come back or something, you're fine. You're more than fine here.
Now look, I'm guessing you lost last week because Ayuk did nothing. CMC didn't play. Puka, all this, right? You're what? 0-1. One game.
Right.
And you don't actually have to be the top or the second or third most high scorer in your league to win. You can get lucky. And a lot of times people do get lucky.
Yeah.
So you just need to win enough to make the playoffs, and then who knows what happens. You get CMC and Puka back second half of the season. Yes. So don't give up. Keep with it. All right. And before we move on, shout out to Yui2K. You know Yui from our baseball streams. He's on here being very active, trying to help some people out, just like we are. Fam first. All right. JMO, who now sounds very questionable, or DK?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. If Jameson plays and he's good to go, I still go him, but it's not sounding good for him. They elevated 2 wide receivers. So I think you're probably just going to roll with DK Metcalf.
Yeah, no, I'm more nervous about Jameson Williams. Anyways, figured this is a Sun God game, so just go DK in this case. Thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr.? Not really in on him this week.
Yeah, let's see it this week. But I still have high hopes for him this season. I'm not giving up on him yet.
Oh no. If anything, if he has a bad game, could be a buy low, but we'll see. Tris has a rest of season question. It's a half point PPR keeper with a 1-round penalty. All right, so he's got Lawrence, Caleb, Breeze Ford, Benson, Vidal, Wilson, Moore, Pickens, McLaurin, Odunze, Shakir, Cooks, Musgrave, and Senate. There you go, Senate. So he wants a grade.
All right. Like every position feels good. I mean, you have a true wide receiver 1 in Garrett Wilson, hopefully. Let's hope he should be. You definitely have a true running back 1 in Breeze. Your QBs are okay. I mean, look, if Caleb gets it going, that'll be great. You know, your running backs behind Breeze are sketchy. Your wide receivers behind Wilson are fine. Could be better than fine. Like if McLaurin gets it going, if Odunze gets healthy, Shakir looks pretty solid. Tight ends are definitely a little gross right now. I mean, but it is a keeper league, and you have a lot of good young talent on this team. So, you know, the nice thing about a keeper league, and I think if I remember this league, if this is the league you were asking me about, Tristram, during the offseason, you can keep as many of these guys as you want. So, I mean, you could be rolling in the next season with like Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence as, you know, quarterbacks that we're viewing differently. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Pickens, McLaurin. We could be viewing these guys totally differently. Maybe Musgrave or Senate, you know, do something. So, but I think if you're just looking at it for this year, I'm going to say like a 7.5. If you're just looking at it for like, how is this team going to do this year?
Right. I mean, I really like your receivers, but I also don't know the Stream's championship team right now. So you're going to need some of those running backs to kind of break out, like a Benson Vidal. Good keepers, but yeah, you're really relying a lot on these rookies based on how you drafted some of these. All right, let's go to Lagyt, Lagyt 90. For my flex, Nico or Sharps, it's half.
I think you got to go Nico. Sharps is fine. Sharps could be good, but I mean, after what we saw with Nico last week, I think you just got to roll a Nico.
Right. Exactly. There's no guarantee Sharps goes off. I mean, he's a solid start, but I'm not benching Nico. All right. I know we're definitely behind. We're catching this Sir Boomer, who's, of course, always active in the chat. Got the CD special, paired it with Daniel's high on rush attempts. Okay, so if you're like, what is he talking about? What do you mean? Okay, so maybe you weren't on here a little while ago or at the very top of the stream. So just want to remind you what this is. If you have an Underdog account, or if you're about to sign up for an Underdog account, you get this free pick, basically CeeDee Lamb getting 1 yard. It's a freebie. He'll get a yard. I feel confident. So if you already are an Underdog, go make sure you use your free pick right now. Anytime, and you don't have to actually even use it for NFL. You could combine it with any other picks. So you got baseball and esports and everything that's considered a sport, and you get this free pick. But if you're new because you haven't tried Underdog yet, you sign up right now and you get another one. It's the new customer free pick special. It's Caleb Williams just getting 1 yard. So there you go. Go higher on that. You can win 2 different ways with free picks. And you also still get the deposit match up to $1,000 bonus cash. If you go ahead and sign up right now, but make sure you use promo code ENDGAME when you do sign up, because that way you get all those perks. And also, I'll remind you, because we are going to stay on until all those super chats are answered. Again, I know some of you are waiting very patiently. We appreciate that. You see how many questions we have, and that's just super chats. You don't want to wait. You want to maybe ask your question later after you watch the whole show. Maybe you're watching this back and it's not live. Good news. You can ask us questions anytime, any day if you just use the Draft Lane app. So Draft Lane is what's called. Go to the App Store or Google Play Store. and it's completely free. Just download Draft Lane, check it out, and if you do decide to use it, you can ask all of your questions here, but make sure that you try it because you can get now $10 credit in your account just for signing up. So download it free and you get that $10 bonus, and you can try out for all of your waiver wire start sit trade or other questions. All right, but we do have to get back to Super Chats. So Zachary Savoy has Gibbs, Connor, Mason. Which RBs to start? Which two?
Oh my goodness. These are some good options, but I think I have to bench James Conner. As much as I like James Conner, I can't bench Gibbs and I can't bench Mason.
I know. I mean, I like Connor too, but I can't bench those others. And then we need to pick two here between Tank Dell, Amari Cooper, Zay, George Pickens, and Diggs. Also good options.
Man, tough to bench Cooper this week, but I think I'm going Tank and Zay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Pickens fan, but I wouldn't start him over these guys, not this week. We got Tank over Diggs. No, Diggs scored the touchdowns last week. It could be Tank this week. So Tank and Zay. Cooper, risky. If you want to go for more upside, you could go Cooper, though. All right, speak your piece. Trade Hill for Chase.
I don't think so. I think this is a little like, okay, we don't know. Like, it's not like Tua came out and said, like, that's it, I'm retiring, and now you're going to have Skylar Thompson rest of the year. And if you look, Tyreek Hill was still pretty good with Skylar Thompson. Waddle's the one I'm more concerned about.
Yeah.
So, like, I worry, like, okay, let's say you make this deal, and then maybe Tua misses, like, 2 or 3 games, and then comes back, and then you're like, oh, can I have Tyreek Hill back? I think I'm keeping Hill.
If you asked me to trade Hill for Justin Jefferson, I would take Jefferson. But I'm not sold on Joe Burrow, as you know, and Chase. I wouldn't do this yet. And look, if the worst case scenario happens and Tua is out for extended time or retires or whatever, the Dolphins are going to go out and get a quarterback. They are not going to roll with Skylar Thompson and only Skylar Thompson at quarterback. They're going to pick up trade for like an Andy Dalton or something like that, which isn't super encouraging, but it's better than Skylar Thompson. So I would just hold for now. West Side Hoodie. A Brown owner. Would you start Pickens, Reed, or Dotson? Can't go Dotson. And look, Reed, very questionable with very questionable quarterback play. I'll just gamble on Pickens. Right. Pickens here, not that he's safe by any means, but at least last week, like, he gave you a floor. He always has that big play ceiling. So I think you got to feel better about him than Reed this week. All right. Beanie Weenie. Standard scoring was offered JT for CMC straight up. I'm taking JT.
Yeah, and standard scoring, maybe just don't risk it with CMC. Just take JT. Again, I know JT wasn't like fantastic last week, but he played 93% of the snaps. The Colts just didn't run any snaps because, again, those 2 huge touchdowns. Like, when you have 2 60-yard touchdowns, you don't run snaps.
Right. You don't need to.
Yeah, in standard scoring especially, yeah, just take JT and don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I know, like, in your past responses earlier, because we've been asked about CMC all week, right? We're like something with Breece Hall, and then CMC, you're like, I'm just taking Breece Hall, right? And Bijan, not that anybody's really trading him, but same thing. I know JT is not quite Breece Bijan, but to me, it's pretty close. I'm just taking JT, Saquon, whatever. Just do it. All right. And then someone here is vertically challenged.
All right.
So Swift or Ford?
Yeah, just give me Ford. I mean, I know Ford's going to get the touches. I know Ford's going to catch the passes. If this week, they feature Swift more and the offense is better, then okay, maybe this could be, we can have this conversation again next week and decide, maybe we put Swift in. But this week, I know Ford's getting the touches. Give me Ford.
Yes. I feel better about Ford. Chicago offense might take some time to really come through. Joker is back. All right, interesting. Okay. If AJB sits, does that move you off of Jalen Hurts for a guy like Dak?
Not this week. If Dak had a better matchup, maybe. But I mean, remember, he's at home, so that's good. But it's also the Saints. That's not good. I mean, he's still got Devonta Smith. He's still got Dallas Goedert. He still runs. Talking about Hurts, he could still look. They were gonna push at the one last week, and there was, I think it was a fumble, like a bad snap or a penalty. I forget. Maybe it was a penalty. He still has a chance for the push. I'm still going Hurts.
Right. I think it's different if you have a quarterback who's not a running quarterback, a guy like Dak. Like, let's say you're like, well, CeeDee Lamb is going to miss. Do I sit Dak? You sit Dak, and you can go with somebody who's lower than him normally. But Hurts still has that rushing upside, that rushing touchdown upside. He still has an elite receiver in Devontae Smith. So I'm not sitting Hurts probably for anyone. Spearsy, what is up? 12 teamers, Zamir or Javonte?
Just give me Zamir and hope. It's just hard. Like Javonte against a Steelers defense.
Yeah.
Just give me Zamir and hope for the best.
Yeah, and Javonte was not good last week. I know you're like, Zamir didn't do much. No, he did at least have a couple of big runs. I think Javonte averaged, 2.9 yards per carry. I just got questions about the whole Broncos offense still. So give me Zamir, and like you said, hope he scores a touchdown or just has a bigger game. Brother Pickle, welcome back. Tight end premium. We need two. D-Rob, Parkinson, Dortch, and Shaheed.
Do we go with the two Rams? Do we diversify a little bit?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, with the tight end premium, I think I can say, okay, fine, I'll take a shot on Parkinson over a guy like Dortch. Wonder if Shaheed makes the cut, though.
Yeah, with Shaheed on the road against Dallas, I mean, if he doesn't hit a big touchdown, what are you getting from Shaheed? But look, if it's me, I'm probably going Robinson and Parkinson. But if you're like, I don't want two Rams, okay, then Parkinson and Shaheed is also fine, also acceptable.
Yeah, that's where I'm at here. It's either, I would go ahead and just put Parkinson with the premium because it's not like any of the other guys really stand out over the other. And then D-Rob or Shaheed. All right, now from Pickle to Peanut Breath.
Okay.
The OG Peanut Breath. What wide receiver can I trade for with Higgins, London, and Likely?
Well, you don't really want to trade London right now. I mean, unless you're like, nope, I'm done. But his value has taken a pretty big hit. Likely has a decent amount of trade value right now. Higgins, questionable how much his trade value is. But if you package like Likely and Higgins, I mean, maybe you could get a Pittman, who I think is a good buy low, a DK Metcalf, who I think is a good buy low, Olave, who I think is a good buy low, guys like that, maybe even DJ Moore. If you package like Likely in London, I mean, you could probably get a little bit, maybe like the same guys, yeah. So that's probably where I'd be looking.
I think this is a good time if you don't need him, which doesn't seem like you do, to trade Likely away, right? Sell high kind of thing. I'm totally fine trading Higgins for something comparable just to get him off my roster. And then I don't think you need to trade London. This might not be the good time to trade London. I don't know how high his value is. Of course, if you can get somebody comparable, do it. But try to package Higgins Likely to get a really good high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 type, like the ones you mentioned. All right, Anthony's in the house now, just to say good luck.
Good luck.
Stinger,
what's
AKA
up, Stinger?
Logan is in the house. All right. So, fun question here. No Walker, I guess no Sharp. Are you going Rico, Chase, or Bucky?
I'll go Bucky Irving. Hope he gets more touches. Rico can't feel good about Chase Brown against the Chiefs. I'll just go Bucky Irving. Hope for the best here.
Yeah, exactly. Not a good spot for Chase Brown, and yeah, Rico wasn't even the lead running back. So just go Bucky. At least he's involved. And then we got Troy Black, full PPR. Got to flex either Ford, Godwin, Rice, or Adams.
Only one of these? It's either Godwin or Rice, and I don't really know how to pick. I mean, I really like Godwin, and he's got a great matchup, but I'm not scared of Rice's matchup. But I think the tiebreaker for me is going to be Rice has Patrick Mahomes. For as good as Baker Mayfield was last week, and Rice is competing with Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce, Godwin is competing with Mike Evans. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Rice, even though I really like Godwin this week. I really do, but slight edge Rice.
It's one of those two. If I saw right, I think maybe it's PFF. Godwin was like the highest rated receiver last week, which is,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, talked about like he's just such a mismatch out of the slot, just such a huge mismatch out of the slot.
Right. But that was against the Commanders defense. So that explains a lot. But then again, the Lions defense is not much better. Godwin, Rice, I mean, I don't flip a coin. They're both great starts, but it's definitely one of those two. It's definitely not Ford and probably not Adams. So Godwin, Rice. I think Godwin has a little bit higher of a ceiling, but Rice is a little bit safer. Julio is here, running late. No worries. We're still on. Kyler Gibbs, Mason Sharps. Nice. Good job being active there. AJB, DJ Moore, Worthy, JMO. Okay, well, I guess we might as well just cross out the injured players.
Yeah, just go DJ Moore and Worthy. I mean, we'll see about Jameson Williams, but I don't know if you said you're running late, so you might not have heard us. The Lions elevated 2 wide receivers for tomorrow's game. Not a good sign for Jameson Williams. AJ Brown didn't practice today. Not a good sign for him. Just go Moore and Worthy at wide receiver. Running back's going to be tougher here. You put Kyler as a running back, but I assume that's supposed to be Kyren. So I can't bench as much as I want to play Mason. I can't bench Kyren Williams and Gibbs. They're just in my lineup every single week. If that's Kyler Murray, your QB, then I'll go Gibbs and Mason.
Yeah, good point. I didn't really notice that. Just at Kyler, but you got RB. Yeah. If it's Kyren, go Kyren Gibbs. If it's Kyler, go Gibbs Mason. Look, Worthy is totally fine to start. Don't risk it. Just go Moore and Worthy. I think you're good. KV Begeman. Kyler or Baker?
I feel like we have this one, but I'm still going Kyler here. He's got that rushing upside. I mean, I know Baker looked great against Commanders last week. I'm not scared of the Lions, but it's still Baker Mayfield. If he only throws 1 touchdown, he's not going to have a huge game. Kyler can throw 1 touchdown and run for a touchdown, so give me Kyler.
Yeah, no reason to be scared off of Kyler at all this week. Go Kyler, and then B-Rob or Monty. It's half.
I'm going Brian Robinson. I like the matchup better. I like his usage better. Give me Brian Robinson.
Yep, Brian Robinson for me as well. I'm cold. Pickens, Worthy, Sharps, only sitting 1.
Well, it doesn't say PPR or not. If it's PPR, I'll sit Charbonnet. If it's non-PPR, I'll sit, I guess, Worthy. I don't know. I'm nervous for Pickens this week against Surtain.
Yeah.
You know what? I might just go Worthy and Charbonnet no matter the format.
And, I'm big on Pickens, but I actually now am Worthy over Pickens. I would start Worthy. It's like Charbonnet, but just go Worthy Charbonnet. There you go.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm just
see
going Worthy Charbonnet either way.
Alexander's channel, welcome back. Pick 1, Ford, Metcalf, Charbonnet.
Oh my goodness. Can I really sit Metcalf for Sharbs?
Yeah. I'm leaning Sharp.
I guess. All right, Charbonnet. The other one's easier, Neighbors.
Yeah. Neighbors over Harrison for sure this week. Probably will change, but and then wondering if you should stash Keenan Allen or Demarcus Robinson.
No, Keenan Allen. If Keenan Allen's available, get Keenan Allen.
Yes. Not we're starting this week, even if he plays, but we're stashing. All right, and then we have a question from the future from Marco.
I like
Now,
it.
this was true, you would already know the answer. But
Right.
this is a dynasty redraft question. Is Jahan Dotson worth holding on to in dynasty?
Yes.
Yeah.
Redraft. And I'll say this. If Dotson has a big game Monday night because AJB is out, I'm going to be sending out trade offers in all my dynasty leagues where I have Dotson. Give me something for Dotson. I'm going to get out from under Dotson. But he's still worth holding.
Right. Let's go. Oh, yeah. And is Whittington a startable option? No.
Like
stashable, not startable.
Yeah, if you're desperate. Like you're extremely desperate, sure.
Right. Okay, let's keep going to Carson. Back again. Whoops. Murray or Daniels?
Murray. Don't. There's no need to risk it with Daniels. Murray has just as much rushing upside as Daniels. Give me Murray.
Yeah. Both have upside. I get it. But yeah, go Kyler. No reason to sweat it. Prime time. You trading him.
Again. Sure. But kind of like with CMC, you need to get somebody really good back. Like you need if somebody's going to give me, I know AJ Brown is hurt right now, but I'm going to assume he'll be fine. Somebody's going to give me AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, plus, a Ramondre Stevenson type running back, a Brian Robinson type running back. Sure, I'll take the deal. But if somebody's going to give me, I don't know, like Stephon Diggs and a Brian Robinson, Ramondre type, then no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I hate to do anything here rash until we know more. I'll just say in general, probably not because you wind up selling low. So no, I think I can trade Waddle in the right deal, but I'm probably just holding Hill for now. All right, so Anthony does have a question here. AJB status very much in the air. Okay, we don't want to play him, but would you just start Monty over him?
I mean, but the thing is, like, if you don't start Monty and AJ Brown doesn't play, who are you starting?
Right.
Like Dotson, Ray McLeod, Darnell Mooney. No, just go with Monty. He'll get touches. He could score. Just go Monty.
Yeah, I think Monty's a good enough option that you can just play him, not worry. It's going to hurts, but that's where you're at. All right, and then we have Ismail. I have Mahomes, Connor, Mason, Hill, London, Laporta, Chris Godwin. On my bench, Ferguson, Palmer, Chase Brown, Gus Edwards, McLaughlin, Bigsby. Drop one is what he says.
Drop one for a defense? I'll drop Jaleel McLaughlin. I mean, even if you told me Jaleel McLaughlin was going to be the starting running back for the Broncos, how excited are you going to be?
Right. That's exactly right. That's a good way to put it. It doesn't seem to have that much value now. It's funny how many people were suddenly all in on Jaleel McLaughlin this preseason. All right, question number 2 from Ismail. Continue 12-man PPR, 5 bench spots, no IR. I need to add Hopkins, Robinson, Cooks, and Judy or Spears.
Well, not Dalvin Cook.
Is that Brandon? Is this? I wonder. Is that supposed to be Brandon Cooks?
Maybe that's supposed to be Brandon. Maybe that's supposed to be Brandon Cooks.
I think it's supposed to be Cook.
I mean, I don't know how many you can add, so I'll rank them. I think I'm going to go Brandon Cooks, DeMarcus Robinson. Tyjae Spears, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy.
I mean, if it's Brandon Cooks, I'll add Brandon Cooks. Marcus Robinson would be my next choice. Really don't want to add Judy or Hopkins or Spears, but that would be the order. Dylan Plath. Should I trade either Debo for CMC? Is there more than one Debo?
Or does he mean Debo? Should he trade either Debo or CMC? No, I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Debo's going to see his value go up while CMC is out for sure. As far as CMC, again, if somebody's willing to give you, like if somebody's like, oh, Justin Jefferson isn't going to be that good, or oh, Monroe St. Brown's are going to be a bust. Okay. Or like they're like, oh, I'm worried about Breece Hall and this Jets or whatever. Like, sure, take it. But other than that, don't trade CMC.
Not trading Debo right now either, because again, he's going to be used in that running back role. So if you're asking either, should you trade either one? I mean, it really depends. It's tough to say. We're getting a lot of different takes. So again, if you want a more detailed answer to that question, what you could do, again, this is why I say it maybe easier than typing it in here, is use the DraftLane app. We can check out your roster. We can check out the other teams in your league, so you can ask it there if you want. Beast and Bryce, what's up? AJB is questionable. Should I flex Jordan Mason or Michael Pittman?
Yeah, just put Jordan Mason in. Don't even risk it with AJ Brown. I mean, Jordan Mason could be just as good or better than AJ Brown this week. Just put Jordan Mason in.
Exactly. I mean, you have a really good choice here. No reason to wait. Yeah, Mason for sure. All right, Romney Santana, hello. Pick 2. Brian Thomas, Metcalf, DeMarcus Robinson.
And I think George Pickens is that first one.
Oh, Pickens. I thought you were saying pick him. Okay, got it. So Pickens beat TJ Metcalf. And
I'm not very high on Pickens this week. I'm not super high on Metcalf this week, but I can't start Brian Thomas Jr. and DeMarcus Robinson over those guys. I still got to roll Pickens and Metcalf.
Right. Don't feel great about those matchups, but do I really feel better about Brian Thomas? He's got a tough matchup too, right? Going against Cleveland?
Yep.
Yeah. Pickens at least is getting all the targets at wide receiver, as many as however many there will even be in that Smith offense. So yeah, go Pickens, DK. Angelo Canedo, thank you. Dropped a super chat. Let's see if there's a question. We are getting there, guys. We're still catching up on the super chats. Don't worry. Okay, Angelo, Chris, unless you find it real soon, we'll move on for now. So, Angelo, if we see your question, we'll put it up.
I'll take a look.
I don't see it back here. Okay, well, let's go to the next super chat for now so we don't keep people waiting too much longer. Actually, let's do a member, Trone Force. What's up? All right, we're flexing here between McLaurin, JSN, Cooks, Madison, or Sutton.
I mean, I know it's terrifying to start McLaurin, but I just think he's a tier above these guys. Like, sure, Cooks could, but he could not. Madison could not. Sutton. I'm just gonna go. I think you gotta just gamble on McLaurin again.
I guess the safest pick here for a few points would be Cooks with potential, right? He could always score. The highest upside is McLaurin. So you want to go for the bigger potential game. It's McLaurin. If you want to play it safe, go Cooks. Burton Jean, start 2 running backs. We got Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, Jamal Williams. The rare Jamal Williams sighting.
Jalen and Javonte, I guess. Man, that's brutal.
You can't start Jamal Williams.
No.
Jalen Javonte it is.
And I think I found, we're looking for Angelo right here.
There you go. All right. Walker's injured. Running backs are Javonte and Spears.
Go with Spears. Hope Brian Callahan isn't lying, even though he probably is, and hope he gets more involved this week. Just go with Spears.
Yeah, it's really not a good matchup for either of these guys, so hope Spears catches some passes. Hope he does something. That's brutal. Another running back here who is injured. Dan O wants to know if the Panthers continue to tank, how do you feel about Brooks? The sad thing is, I don't think they're even trying to tank.
Yeah, I don't think the Panthers are trying to tank. I don't think they're tanking. I think they were just that bad. Obviously, you can't. If they're this bad all year, you gotta be a little worried about Brooks. But yeah, yeah, I don't think they're tanking. At least not yet.
No, exactly. Still stashing. Still has value. Again, we've only seen the Panthers one game this year, and it was as bad as it might possibly get. But they could get better. Hams. Kirk or Pickens to replace AJB?
This is one time I might want to wait, but you probably can't. I guess I still feel like Pickens has more upside than Kirk. I hate the matchup against Surtain. I guess Pickens.
This one's tough. Pickens does have that big play upside. Go Pickens, I guess. Rough times.
Yeah.
Just got the membership. Thank you, Rough Times. We'll see if you do have a question there. Put them up, which is also a good time to give a friendly reminder. Spamming the chat with the same question over and over by copy pasting will absolutely guarantee we do not answer your question, and it will get you put in timeout, which is a very sad thing. So don't do that. Michael Charmisky. Didn't see this coming. Alan Lazard, Luke McCaffrey. Is it Brandon Cooks, Romeo Dobbs, or Wandale?
Wandale is probably your safest option. He probably has the highest floor here, but I think Cooks is your ceiling play. So I'm probably going Cooks for the ceiling. But if you're like, hey, I like the rest of my team a lot, I feel really good. Maybe you had, maybe you had Devon Achane and James Cook on Thursday night, and you're already destroying your opponent, then maybe go Wandale.
There you go. I know a lot of people picked up Lazard. I wouldn't want to start him. I don't have him over those guys. Luke McCaffrey, there's no. You just stash him and hope and see if he does something. Romeo Dobbs with Malik Willis is probably the last choice here. So I would go Cooks or Wandale, probably a slight edge to Cooks. All right, and then thank you, Tris, re-upping the membership and also helping regulate in the chat, telling people not to do bad things and spam. Here's Rough Times. Yeah, there you go. Time to member up. Exactly. PPR, though, needs 1, 1, and 1 with Rice, Davante, I think that's Adams, Sharps, Pollard, Moss. Okay, so which is the running back?
Charbonnet is the running back.
Agree.
Rice is the wide receiver. And again, I can't in good conscience tell you to play Pollard over Devontae Adams. So Devontae Adams at the flex.
Yeah, it's full PPR. You can go Devontae Adams. He should at least get a few catches, right? So it's the first three: Rice, Devontae, Sharps, and then have to drop one, unfortunately, for a kicker. Who you're dropping, Javonte or Zamir? I mean, I guess I don't know. Technically, could drop Moss.
Yeah, I don't know. Flip a coin. Because I don't think either are going to have good games this week. So I think you can honestly drop either and nobody's going to run out to pick them up.
Yeah. If it's me, I would hold Zamir, drop Javonte. Either one is fine. Mac, Mojelong, Jefferson and Eckler for Brees and Pickens.
Give me Brees and Pickens. Brees, Jefferson may be close, but I'll take Pickens over Eckler for sure. Give me Brees and Pickens.
Yeah, this is almost like a 2-for-1 because I don't know how much you count on Eckler. I mean, Eckler's not really startable unless you're desperate, I think, at this point. Pickens is not great this week, but he'll be startable pretty much all year. So, yeah, go with the Brees Pickens side. All right. We did that one. So let's go to the next super chat. It is farther down, which is why I'm stalling as I talk. Simon, Mason, Harrison, McLaurin, Reed, full PPR, flex.
Definitely Mason here. Don't need to risk it with Harrison. Don't need to risk it with McLaurin. Don't need to risk it with a banged up Reed, with a whatever quarterback. Go Mason.
Yeah, and it's rare that we'll just automatically say go with a running back in a full PPR. And these are good receivers. You got to wait and see what Harrison does. Or I should say what the Cardinals do. Yeah, he'll get some targets, but really is his ceiling as high as a guy like Mason this week? Yeah, I'm agreeing. Go Mason. And then we got Keone Tatulatasi. Brian Robinson Jr., Xavier Worthy. It's PPR.
You know what? PPR, give me the upside of Worthy. Give me Worthy. Brian Robinson's safer if you want floor, but you had Waddle play, so you might need ceiling. I'm going Worthy.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'd like Brian Robinson in the beginning. I'm talking about that running back. Now that we know Hollywood's not only not playing, but not coming back probably for a long time, if at all, I feel like this also helps that they know they're gonna need to count on Worthy developing faster and get him more involved. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go Worthy. I mean, look at Cincinnati. They're not good. Okay. Francisco Valencia. We got to flex Worthy or Tank or Ford or Monty. Now, we don't know what the format is, so PPR, half, or standard would make sort of a difference, but who do you like?
I think I like Tank the best no matter what. I just think he has more upside than even in standard scoring. He can score. I think Tank's my choice. I mean, maybe in complete non-PPR, I don't play Tank, but even then I still might.
Yeah, it's one of those receivers. I like Tank. I like Worthy. Feel like similar type of players. I don't know if I'm not sure. I don't know if it really would matter, right? If it's full or half or whatever. It's similar players. I think I might go Tank. It's close between those two. Gut feel. All right. Next one is Mo. PPR, quarterback, receiver, flex, Stafford or Lawrence?
Stafford at QB for me. It's a good matchup this week. Lawrence against Browns.
Yeah, exactly. Olave Pittman.
Olave.
Neighbors Lazard.
Olave Neighbors. Olave at wide receiver, Neighbors at flex, or vice versa, either one.
And then needs an upgrade at receiver. Who should I target? Dangling, Gibbs, or Breece Hall?
I think you're fine at receiver. I know you look at, Olave was terrible, Pittman was terrible, Neighbors wasn't great. I think they're going to be fine. I think these guys will be fine. I think you'll be okay. Having Gibbs and Breece Hall is a huge advantage. I would just stick with your wide receivers.
Yeah, because, I mean, look, you want to trade Breece Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs, you better be getting back Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Maybe. I guess I would do that to get the Sun God, but you don't need to. What I would try to do, maybe if you have Gibbs and Breece, well, then you could trade Rachaad White and try to get a solid receiver that way. Or maybe you package Rachaad White and Neighbors, Pittman, and get an elite receiver. You could do that. Don't trade Gibbs or Breece, though.
No.
All right. Let's go to Jedi Cough. Drake London, Marvin Harrison.
I mean, both risky, but give me Drake London against the Eagles. I'll gamble on him on Monday night.
Yeah, exactly. Not really in on Harrison. I'm not assuming Drake London's going to go off, but I feel like he should definitely get you something in that matchup. And then KV Begeman, it's KVB Gaming. Well, there's no G at the end. KVB Gaming. Okay, my bad. KVB Gaming. Do I sit either London or Olave for Dell?
I would sit London for Dell. Not Olave, but I'll sit London. Just I like Dell enough this week. Let me see Kirk Cousins and this offense look better. I'll sit London for Dell.
Right. I know I just finished saying London's fine, but feeling really good about Dell this week. So there you go. You can sit London while you're gaming. Max the Moose. Would you trade Debo JSN for Marvin and Judy? No.
Nah, I prefer Debo to Marvin right now, and I prefer JSN to Judy right now. So give me the Debo JSN side.
If you got the Debo side, absolutely not. Don't do that. Pedro, welcome back. Pedro Navarez. 10-team PPR got Hurts, Bijan Stevenson, AJ Flowers, Kelsey, Aaron Jones with a bench of Ridley Moss, Zeke, Lazard. And 10 non-PPR, London on flex or Harris. Okay, I guess this is like a rate my team and then a question. Okay, let's do the end first. It says 10 non-PPR, London or Harris or B-Rob.
I think he's just asking us who's in the flex. And he's telling us it's not PPR.
But it said 10 PPR and this is 10 non-PPR. That's why I'm confused.
Oh, you're right. Well, I'm flexing Brian Robinson PPR or not. I'm flexing Brian Robinson.
Yeah, it's non-PPR. Go B-Rob for sure.
And I probably am going... Oh, Ridley's on your bench. Never mind. Yeah, Brian Robinson.
So for the first one, I don't know. What do you think of that team?
10-teamer, Hurts, Bijan Stevenson, AJ Brown Flowers, Ridley, Aaron Jones, Bijan Stevenson, Aaron Jones. You got Hurts. Kelsey. For a 10-teamer, 775.
Yeah. It feels like good at receiver, but not amazing. You know what I mean? Got AJ Flowers. I think Kelsey was drafted too early. Hate to say. Solid at running back for sure. But yeah, the receivers probably should be a little better. So 7.75, maybe 7.5, honestly. Duncan. Flex, Dobbins, Olave, DK.
Olave. PPR, give me Olave. Give me Olave.
Yeah, not feeling a big DK game. Dobbins, it's too early to throw him in there over a guy like Olave. I mean, last week is over. It's a new week. Mississippi Queen. Well, don't know what you mean because I don't see the question, but we'll look. If you see it, let me know. Oh, all right. I see it. Never mind.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for being here, for asking us these questions. We're trying to help. Hopefully we get it right. Let's do a defense question. Jags or Colts?
I think it's got to be Colts against Malik Willis. Got to be the Colts.
Yeah. I get the temptation to play the Jags here. Look, maybe that winds up being the best defense. I mean, can they really be that bad again, Cleveland? It's possible. I would just go with the Colts, though. All right, Dustin just got that membership earlier. Wants to know if you could drop Purdy to roll with Mayfield the rest of the season.
I don't think so.
I mean, okay. I said Baker's probably the quarterback you want to add, right? Especially if you lost Jordan Love. And I do like Baker, his schedule for the next, 3 weeks, really good. I don't know if I'm just like, hey, I got Baker Mayfield, I'm good, set and forget. You know what I mean? I don't want Baker Mayfield as my QB1 and 1 QB, and Purdy should be fine. I mean, I don't know, though. Does Purdy really have trade value?
Probably not.
Not in a 1 QB league.
No.
You can probably just play matchups here. I mean, I would just roll with Mayfield for sure this week and the next couple of weeks, and then take it from there. All right, another QB question, another rest of season question. Jason Brittle, Love or Goff?
Still going Love. I'm still going Love. It doesn't sound like maybe he misses next week and then he's back. I'm not. It's not like Goff has did anything in week 1 to make me think he's gonna, surpass Love. So still going Love.
Yeah, and I know it's all smoke and mirrors and BS that they're talking about. Oh, he might play this. No, he was never going to play this week. He's probably not going to play next week either. Let's be honest. But Love should be back week 4, week 5. I will still take Love. I mean, there's a reason we had him ranked higher than Goff in the first place.
Right.
All right. Very open-ended question, and we've talked a lot about CMC. But Tristram wants to know: would you try to move now to get CMC? What would be fair?
I mean, if we're talking fair, talking fair, but like buy low fair would be like maybe give up a running back like David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, somebody in that kind of range, plus maybe a wide receiver like, I don't know. I mean, Keenan's hurt right now. Maybe, Diggs. I don't know. Guys, maybe kind of in that range. I mean, Keenan, if he was healthy, maybe even a Brian Thomas Jr. if people are believing in him after last week, or maybe even a Ladd McConkey. Like, because I don't want to go, if I'm trading for McCaffrey, I don't want to give up a stud and hope he comes back healthy. I'm getting CMC if I can truly buy low on CMC. And I'm not talking low ball, but, so if I can give up like a solid RB2 and a wide receiver 2-3 that people think has some upside, I would do it.
And this will be a very fluid situation depending on how Jordan Mason performs, how CMC recovers. So generally speaking, I'm not necessarily going out to actively try to pursue a player who just went on IR, because CMC name value still means you're going to have to give up something significant to get him, right? The buy low for him is not maybe as low as it is for several other players. So yeah, we'll continue to have many more CMC trade discussions, I'm sure, for the next month.
Yep.
But let's go on to Thomas with another question here. You're starting Demarcus Robinson or Jalen McMillan?
I'm starting Demarcus Robinson. I know it was a great week for Jalen McMillan last week, but that was the Commanders. Just give me Demarcus Robinson.
Right. I think McMillan is interesting. Got, again, another good matchup here, like Baker this week. But now Robinson's the number 2 receiver, we think, for the Rams. McMillan's still the 3. So I got to give the edge to Robinson. Again, I'm always looking for potential target share. I think Robinson should definitely be it. Marcos went, Jordan Mason or Monty?
Mason almost, I don't want to say like a no doubt must start, but pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, he's a bell cow now, right? He's the workhorse. He's getting all the touches there. Monty's still splitting time. Go Mason. All right, and then we do have, we're worldwide now. Johann Unterkofler, Guten Nacht a Deutschland.
Wow.
Germany.
What's up?
I traded Likely and Rice for Cup and Bowers. Like that?
I think that's a win. I mean, if Puka comes back and Cup kind of just becomes good again, maybe you'll regret not having Rice now that we know Hollywood might miss a whole season, but Cup's going to be a monster for however long Puka's out. I think that's a win.
I'd take that as one, even if Puka, or I shouldn't even say if, when Puka comes back, he'll definitely be back 100%. You're going to still be happy you have Cup, assuming he's healthy. But yeah, I think trading Likely for Bowers, even if it's like a straight up thing, I do that. I think that's going to be a big win for you long term. So yeah, I think this is a W. And then now needs 2 of, this is tough. This is a 10-teamer. It is PPR. Mason, Ford, Kamara, or B-Rob.
Mason for sure, and I think I still got to go Kamara. He catches passes. Nobody else is really getting touches in that backfield. Mason and Kamara.
Yeah, Mason in this group can definitely be started. Man, I like Robinson this week. Can I sit Kamara? I don't know if I can sit Kamara because it is PPR, right? So I guess Mason Kamara. Danke Shane. Danke Shane to you for being on here. Super Dave is on here, of course. This is a fun one. Isaac Garendo or Samaji Perine?
Give me Perine. I think we could see Perine more on third downs this week now that he's been with the team for a little bit. I mean, Garendo didn't even like.
No.
Yeah, Perine.
Like guys like Garendo, Kamani Vidal. Like, sure, eventually they really could have value. They really don't right now. Like, not at all. They're not going to play. So if you need someone for this week, it could be Perine. You want to just stash one, I guess it's Garendo, though. All right, Jason Rochelle, PPR, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 2 flex. Okay, you got Richardson, St. Brown, Chase, Kamara, Jacobs, Laporta, Ayuk, Godwin. All right. He's asking about trades, though. Cooper, McLaurin, Shakir, Ford, Dowdle, and Pitts are all on the bench.
Well, let's see. St. Brown, Chase, I know it wasn't great for you last week, but it's going to be fine. Kamara, Jacobs, fine. Laporta, Ayuk in the flex. Ayuk and Godwin flex. Cooper. I mean, you could try to package maybe like Cooper and Kamara or Cooper and Jacobs and try to go out and get like a potential semi-buy low running back like a JT, maybe a Pacheco, maybe a Kyron to upgrade, Derrick Henry to upgrade your running back room. But I mean, really, you're pretty good outside of that.
Yeah, you're pretty deep across the board. I don't really see any needs, except you don't have, you don't have an elite running back. Okay, most people don't. Like a lot of people don't. So I would say this. I would entertain maybe, let's wait another week or two, if Pitts starts to be productive and looks legit, like real deal, and Laporta isn't getting as many targets because Jameson Williams is there, whatever, I might entertain trading Laporta and packaging him with somebody else, like a Kamara Jacobs, to get a stud running back if somebody is interested in that. But right now, I don't really think you need to do any trades. You're pretty good. Okay. Trone Force. If somebody dropped D-Hop, are you dropping D-Rob or Jalen Wright for him?
I could probably drop Jalen Wright for him. I mean, even with Mostert out and Jeff Wilson getting hurt in that game, what did he really do? You could probably drop Jalen Wright for him for right now.
For now, yeah. Since Achan's good to go, Mostert will come back. I mean, nobody's probably rushing out to pick up Jalen Wright necessarily, so that's fine. All right, Jedi Koth with another half PPR flexing Reed, Keenan, Jason, or Pollard.
I think I'm just going Pollard here in half PPR. Keenan banged up, don't know if he's going to play. Reed banged up with a banged up quarterback situation. Just give me Pollard in half PPR.
I'm not starting Keenan, even if he plays. I think Pollard's probably your safe pick. If Reed plays and you want to risk it, you can go Reed as the upside pick. Pollard's the safe pick. Jay dropped super chat. I don't see a question immediately, so we're going to keep on rolling. If we see Jay, then let me know. All right. I do see a J with only one Y. I'm guessing it's not the same guy. M.A. Ma Sampson. PPR, we need 2 of Etienne, Singletary, Charbonnet. Hey, it could be worse.
It could be way worse. And Etienne, Charbonnet, and I don't even feel that bad about it, honestly. I mean, look, maybe if Tank Bigsby gets half the carries again or more, then yeah, okay, we're panicking on Etienne. But right now, I think it's okay. I think you're fine. Etienne and Charbonnet.
Yeah, a lot of people would be thrilled to have Charbonnet as an option at least. Some people don't. But yeah, go Charbs, Etienne. Etienne's definitely still startable. All right, and then Benny, what is up? Benny Black.
What's up,
Guys,
Benny?
always in the Discord. All right, needs a running back here. Zeus, Bucky, or Javante?
Just gamble on Zeus getting more touches. Those other guys, no, not ready yet.
Yeah, because Bucky, we're like, oh, he got involved, but he didn't get more carries than Zamir White did. And I think Zeus will be okay. Let's give him another shot. So with these choices, go White. Teagan Powell, pick one from each group. Okay, so full PPR. Here's group one. D-Rob, BTJ, or Deontay?
Again, I know Deontay was bad last week, but I don't think I can sit him for these guys yet. I'm still going Deontay.
Agree. Deontay, don't love Thomas's matchup. Robinson, let's see how many targets he really gets. All right, now group two, we got Robinson again or Pickens.
Again, I can't sit Pickens for a guy like DeMarcus Robinson. I'm playing Pickens.
Yes, definitely going Pickens. And then group three, now we have Deontay, Wandale, or Tyler Johnson.
Gonna say the same. Now look, if these are three different leagues and you don't want Deontay in both leagues, okay, maybe I could go Wandale over Deontay. But I'm in a vacuum, I'm going Deontay again.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Tyler Johnson just yet. That's why we're still kind of in on DeMarcus Robinson. We'll see. I mean, maybe he is the next guy to step up in that offense. But let's see it. Deontay barely over Wandale. You could try Wandale if you want, but I'm going to go Deontay. All right, and then we got Bill Brown in PPR, 4 running backs, but 3 slots. Brees, Kyron, Mason, JK.
Well, one of these is not like the others. I'm sorry, Mr. Dobbins, but you're sitting.
Yes, there's never going to be a question with Brees. He's just auto start. Kyron is almost always auto start, and Mason clearly ahead of JK. So there you go. Those are the 3. Kenneth Yuko, what is up? Welcome back again. Double flex. Yep, JMO and AJB are both questionable. Wandale and Warren.
I mean, Wandale is fine for Jameson, but I'd rather just gamble on AJ Brown, and then if he doesn't play, just go see. I might play Ray McCloud over Jalen Warren, honestly.
That actually, it's not as bad as pick as it sounds. Like, people don't realize. I was digging through the stats and the target share. Ray McCloud had, for some reason, one of the highest target shares, and ran a lot of routes last week. Now, I think we like to assume Drake London will get some of those targets this week. He really, really better. But what if Kirk Cousins really just can't move and just wants to throw it short across the field to the first guy he sees? And that's Ray McCloud because he's in the slot. Look, he's not exciting, but he's kind of like poor man's Wandale Robinson. Or he's kind of equivalent to Wandale Robinson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, get you a receiver who can get some targets. So I agree. I'm not starting Warren if I don't have to. I think Wandale's fine though. Sir Boomer has a bone to pick here. He's alarmed by your anti-Monty propaganda, but
Monty's fine. No, I'm not anti-Monty. He's fine, but yeah.
Okay, but now he's happy because he's panicking on Cooper and he's okay with him. So Cooper over Monty still, right?
Cooper over Monty, definitely for me. Yes.
Yes. And again, not anti-Monty, just don't go crazy because of last week. His start-sit lineup assistant is telling him to bench Cooper.
Yeah.
I don't know who your assistant is, but yeah, I think we'll ignore that. Okay. Humberto Juarez. Welcome back, Humberto. Traded Stevenson for CMC, and now he's on IR. You still think that's a good idea?
Yes. If you can get CMC straight up for Stevenson, I think that's still a huge win. Yes, he's on IR, but I mean, okay, if he doesn't play the rest of the season, maybe you'll wish you had Stevenson. But I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, I was telling you guys all draft season to draft Stevenson, but I was like, I think Stevenson's going to bounce back. I could see him bouncing back this year, but I still don't think Stevenson's going to be one of those guys you look back on and say, oh, Stevenson, yeah, I won my league because I had Ramondre Stevenson. I would still rather gamble on CMC coming back at some point for sure.
Yeah. And you have to fully acknowledge the risk. Yes, CMC could re-injure, could miss more time. Maybe the season is just lost for him. It's definitely possible. This is why you're getting him in a buy low trade offer. But you know the risk when you take it on, right? So it's worth. I think in this case, it's worth the risk because you already have two good enough running backs, and you got your handcuffs, so that's fine. Take a shot, see if it works. Jonathan Brooks being there makes me feel better because maybe by mid-season he's good to go. Then we got Corey Motley. Thank you with a super chat. Do not see a question, so we'll keep going. We got Cowboys. Is it an 8-man half PPR league? Got Lamar, Gibbs, Pacheco, Lamb, Wilson, Andrews. Who to flex between James Conner or Rashee Rice in half? Or DJ Moore?
I mean, this is really, really close between Rice and Conner. Really close. Oh man, because it's half PPR, so those little Rashee Rice slants aren't as valuable. But he does have good yard after catchability. I think I'm still going Rashee Rice here barely, but it is very close.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Rashee Rice here. Like Connor. If it was standard, I might go Connor, but let's go Rashee Rice. Again, should be fine. Bengals definitely not scary these days. I mean, you have these players on the bench. Of course, it's an 18 league, but let's just go Rice. Blitzen Spritz, Fantasy Football League. All right. Sutton, Warren, Tyler Johnson, Dortch, Reed, of course. Worried about Willis. We need two here. This is probably not an 8-man league.
Yeah, and I know you're worried about Reed, but I mean, do we feel good about any of these other guys? I think I'm going Sutton and Reed. Sutton and Reed. Like Dortch, okay, whatever. Tyler Johnson, hey, Warren, Sutton and Reed.
Yeah, Dortch probably no ceiling here. Tyler Johnson not sold yet. I would go Reed over them too. I know you're scared, but Reed could do something on his own. It's not Kenny Pickett, right? It's not Mitch Trubisky. Let's see. Sutton, yeah, Sutton and Reed. And then for another league, Olave over MHJ. I'm going to guess it's Olave.
Yeah, Olave.
Definitely Olave. All right. You're welcome. Good luck. We got Trone. Wants to rate this team. Worried about running back. Jaden Daniels, Tyreek Cup, Barkley, Monty, Parkinson, McLaurin. On the bench, Jason Sutton, Robinson, Cooks, Madison, Wright, and Njoku and Mostert on the IR.
I mean, it could be a little bit worried about running back, but you got Barkley. Like Monty is fine. It's not like Monty's terrible. Maybe I've been talking Monty down too much. Maybe now people are like, thinks he's fine. I mean, it'd be nice if your other running backs weren't Alexander Madison and Jalen Wright. I mean, Mostert will be back, but we don't know Mostert. So, as far as the team, I mean, 12 team, you got Tyreek and Cup. That looks really good right now. I mean, I probably would have. I don't know how I would have felt about this team. It's okay. It's certainly not bad, but it's certainly not like great. 7.75.
I think Barkley, solid RB1. Monty, solid RB2. There's no depth. I mean, you really don't have running backs beyond that. So this is a team kind of living on the edge. You don't really have a tight end. I know Njoku, but even when he comes back, it's not like Trey McBride or something. So you will have some boom weeks because you have those first four players all have tremendous upside. But yeah, I just don't know how long you can carry on with this exact roster. You need a guy like JSN to break out or get lucky and Jalen Wright somehow suddenly becomes super valuable or something like that. So might need to shake it up a little bit. So I think 7.5 sounds about right. All right. Kenneth Uko again. Can Mondre and JMO or BTJ land CMC?
I mean, we just saw where Ramondre got CMC straight up, so why not? I think it could. I think it's definitely worth a try. We just saw Ramondre straight up. Why not try it?
Yeah, I mean, this always comes down to what the CMC owner is thinking and what they want, what they need, how desperate are they, etc. You got an owner that has CMC and Puka, something like that. They're more desperate. So try it. Always start low, not insulting low, but start with a reasonable offer that doesn't give up more than you need to, and then work from there. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely could. All right, we're almost caught up, although we're still about 10 minutes behind super chats. We're going to get out here pretty soon. So let's keep going. Access MIA, just dropping some knowledge and facts here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, chat too. We got a lot of smart people in here, not surprisingly. Joe Realist. All right, so who's the real better start, Ayuk or Jacobs, the flex PPR?
Again, Jacobs has potential upside, but he also has a ton of risk. Just go with Ayuk. Ayuk should be good this week.
Yeah, Ayuk, pretty much you can lock in your lineup. You don't have to worry too much. I think Ayuk is totally fine. I mean, there is risk with Jacobs, right? That if the Packers just really are that bad. Smitty, the fisherman, risk Brown or go with Cooper or Flowers?
I mean, I'm going with one of those other wide receivers. I really like Cooper, but man, I like Flowers a lot too. It's close between them. Flowers has Lamar. I'll go Flowers, but it's very close between them. But yes, one of those over AJB for sure.
Yeah, with these options, there's no point risking AJ Brown. So, yeah, Cooper, higher ceiling, Flowers, a little bit more of a floor. I'm going Cooper this week. Marco, start 2 in PPR. Got McLaurin, Nico, Shaheed, Olave. Which two?
Nico and Olave for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then trade away Waddle or DJ or Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. Either one. I mean, Marvin Harrison risky, but also we can't forget this guy was a consensus, early second rounder. You can argue maybe he shouldn't have been, but it's only been one game. But there is risk with Waddle now. So if you want to trade him for one of these guys, I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah, I think you need to do it for one of those two guys. Not like Waddle is, completely worthless, but I'm clearly not a Skylar Thompson truther. I would just take the guy who could be the number one for his team, and I still believe in Caleb Williams. I think DJ Morris is a good time to get him. It's obviously a good time for Marvin Harrison, so I think either one. Short season, got the membership. Thank you. And we'll
Thank you.
Get to you. I know you're here last week too. Here's a question. Got Murray, ATN, Walker, Sharbs. Just got him. Smart. Very good. Zamir, St. Brown, Gary Wilson, Debo, more Reed, Hollywood, Ferguson, and likely. What should I do? Trade if struggling. RBs and tight ends worry me. Too many receivers. You can never have too many receivers, but you can drop Hollywood.
Yeah, and also I mean, you could try. I think you're fine at tight end with Ferguson and Likely. I don't think you have any issue there.
Yeah.
You could try to package Jaden Reed coming off a big game and Etienne and try to get like a JT, a Kyron. I keep saying the same kind of what I feel like are kind of like the buy lowish running backs right now. Kyron, Pacheco, like the buy low elite running backs. But also you should be fine with Etienne and Walker, especially since you also have Charbonnet. But you could try to package Etienne and maybe DJ Moore or Jaden Reed and try to get one of those JTs, Kyrons, the guys that had the good games but not the huge games that people aren't no one's trading Saquon right now. So
right. I think if there is a move to make, because look, between Walker, Sharbs, you're fine with one of those two guys. Walker should be good to go. Again, fingers very crossed the rest of the season. I don't think a lot of people, who aren't really deep into it know that Etienne had as many carries as Tank last week. I think some people just think, oh, okay, he had whatever yards and a touchdown. Okay, he's fine. I think if you can package Etienne and Reed to land you a RB1, I do it. That's a smart idea right there. I'm not messing with those 3 elite receivers: St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Debo. Just leave that alone. If you can package Reed now, then do it, and then drop Hollywood to pick up a running back, like a flyer kind of thing. Me Blue Lobster again. Superflex pick 2: Fields, Dell, Keenan, Ford, McConkey.
Fields and Dell. I feel good enough about Fields with that rushing. I'm still going to start him in a super flex, and Dell head and shoulders above these guys for me in PPR.
Yeah, I feel like I think he did ask this question earlier and we answered it, but dropped a super chat there. So thank you, Blue Lobster. Not to be confused with the Red Lobster. Corey Motley dropped another super chat, although I don't still see a question from Corey. So if we see one, Corey, then we'll answer it.
I do see this one from Jay, because remember Jay dropped the super chat earlier. Here's
all right. So Jay L got Lamar, Bijan, Kyron, Pittman, Harrison, Flowers, J-Mo, Pickens, McConkey, got likely Javonte Ford on the bench. Who should be the number 1 and 2 receiver, and who to flex?
Zay and Pittman are my wide receiver 1 and 2. I honestly think I'm going to flex Ford. And then, I mean, as far as a trade package goes, who's your tight end? Doesn't say.
Don't see one.
I mean, you got a Likely on the bench, so I assume you have a different tight end. I mean, you could try to package like Likely and a guy like Jameson, although he might be out this week. I don't really see any like obvious trade packages.
Yeah, I think it's with the players you have, it's a little early. You don't have to do anything right now. I mean, you're set with those 2 running backs, your quarterback. You've got good receivers. I know they didn't all go off last week, but you're okay. I think you're okay right now. So yeah, don't worry about it. You're good. Okay, and then we got Chief Perp is back. 2 running back, 2 flex: Bijan, Stevenson, Jacobs, Dobbins, Dell, Ayuk, Worthy, London, Flowers, and Reed. 2 running backs.
I'm going Bijan and Jacobs. And at the flex, I'm going Dell and Ayuk.
Yep.
Man, you got a lot. You're gonna have a lot of a lot of points on your bench.
Yeah, I remember last year Chief Perp always had like 10 like RB1s somehow. It's like, how did you get this? Yeah, Bijan is no question. Ayuk, no reason to worry. Yeah, Jacobs, Dell. There you go. All right, then we have Kirsten Johnson. Rank these guys: running back Etienne, Jacobs, Monty Sharps, B. Rob Ford.
All right, if we're just going this week, which I assume, I'm going to go Etienne, Jacobs, Sharps, B. Rob Ford, Monty. But man, those Sharps, B. Rob Ford, you could talk me into any order of those 3, honestly.
This might be the toughest question I feel like we've had so far. These guys are all clustered together very closely. I don't know that there's anyone here I'd say is last on the list. I'm not really completely sure who's first, to be honest. I think the one that stands out to me the most, if there's one that I like, is Robinson, but I still don't know that I would say I would put him for sure over Jacobs and Etienne. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But let's do this. I mean, I'm going to say Etienne 1, Robinson 2, Jacobs 3, Charbonnet 4, Monty 5, Ford 6, I guess. And that's all interchangeable. I don't know. Doug Fenton, 10 team. Jacobs or Mason to go with Hall?
Just go Mason. Just go Mason. He's almost a lock.
Right. And Jacobs has risk. All right. Flowers or Worthy?
Still going Flowers. I know Worthy might have more upside, but he also has tremendously more risk. Flowers should be much better this week. I'm going Flowers.
Yeah. Both solid. Worthy has upside, but so does Flowers. That's fine. And Brown on IR. Yes. Okay. Hard Danger. 7. Half PPR needs 2 in a flex. Nicole? No. It's Nico Collins, Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, Shaheed Wandale versus Amir White. It's probably the first 3.
Yeah, Nico and Zay. Yeah, and you got to roll with Harrison this week. None of those guys are first three.
Yeah, it's tempting to sit Harrison after last week. It's tempting to flex Wandale. I'm not going to go that far yet. Let's see what Harrison does. And then we got Mark Bone. What do you think about Dotson as a pivot?
I mean, he's fine. If you really don't have better options, like if it's like Jahan Dotson or Chase Brown or Jahan Dotson or whatever, Rico Dowdle, just wait and hope AJ Brown plays. I don't think those guys are going to be significantly better than Dotson.
LFA says I have several mediocre running backs and wide receivers. I mean, look, whoever you already have, you had stashed over Jahan Dotson probably for a reason. I mean, not often you want to handcuff a receiver. I like Dotson. I think he'll be good eventually, but he's been in this offense for a very short time. I just don't see him getting the targets. So I don't know who your mediocre receivers are, but probably someone who's at least good enough to start. So, yeah, be ready to pivot. Chris Laborde, what's up? Jacobs or B-Rob? My other running backs are Mason, Mixon, Jacobs, or Brian Robinson will be in my flex.
I'm still going Jacobs. I'm gonna buy into the Green Bay gonna lean on Jacobs game here. I do like Brian Robinson. He might be. I don't even know if I can call a running back in this Commanders offense safer, but he might be slightly safer. Maybe. I'm still going Jacobs though.
I mean, if I'm remembering what I just said 2 minutes ago, I think I had Brian Robinson ranked just over Jacobs. It's really close. I might lean B-Rob, but it's close between those two. Jacobs a little riskier, I guess, but probably more carries. And then Marvin Harrison, London, JMO. We just said the guy who's questionable.
Yeah, Jameson Williams questionable, and they elevated 2 wide receivers today, not looking good for him, so just sit him probably.
Yeah. There's no reason to take that risk. All right, Corey Motley, here's a question. Half PPR, pick 3, Ayuk, Pickens, Kirk, Gus, JSN, D-Rob, Shaheed.
I think I got to go with the first 3. I think they're just a tier above those other guys. I know. I mean, everybody on this list is risky. Give me the first 3. I mean, Ayuk probably not risky, but everybody outside of Ayuk is risky.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with the first 3. I'm chasing target share. I'm going with the guy who's the number 1 receiver in his offense, which is the first 3. So there you go. And Kenneth just chatting in and say thank you. All right. Well, no.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you, everybody, man. We couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope everyone comes out with a win, if that's even possible this week, but at least do the best we can. All right. We're almost out of here, but last couple, we're actually almost caught up. But there is a fat with a PH, Fat Walrus in the house. Fat Walrus. Let's see if we see your question. Maybe it's down below. There it is. Just wanted to say thanks. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, there you go. That's it. Well, we're caught up. I wish we could do more. And I know we have a lot of regular chats we didn't get to, but we are now at the 3.5 hour mark and we've got other things going on. So we're going to cut it off here. So at least we got to answer those. And the short season did get that membership. It just wants to say thank you again. Here's one more question. Sua can trade for Etienne and Reed. Well, that was from before, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to trade away Etienne and Reed?
I'm thinking, yeah. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, again, you could potentially get one of those buy low type running backs I talked about, Pacheco, Kyren, JT, Derrick Henry, maybe even buy low, like Tyreek Hill. Maybe if people are freaked out about Tua. Garrett Wilson didn't have a great first game. Maybe. I mean, if I'm going to trade Etienne and Reed, I need something really good back.
Yeah, you should still get plenty of trade value here from Etienne. It's still technically an RB1. Consider that. Reed coming off a big game. So, yeah, try to go for an elite running back to upgrade here. All right, guys, that is it. Time for us to head out of here. And yes, stream before the games tomorrow. Of course we are. We'll see you all again tomorrow, 3 hours before game time. So if you're on East Coast, then that would be 10 a.m. If you're Central, my time, it's 9. If you're on the Pacific Coast, like Chris, that is 7. Is that right?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. That's crazy. But of course, you're awake already.
Yes.
All right. If you got time tonight, let's watch some college football, get those lineups set. Of course, you can wait and, check back with us tomorrow morning because we'll be here again. And also get your pick'em set for Underdog. If you haven't tried it yet, guys, still got plenty of time. Get that free CeeDee Lamb pick in there. If you already have your account, do that. CeeDee Lamb get in the yard, take that free pick. If you're new and you sign up right now, you get another free pick, Caleb Williams. Just get in the yard. And of course, you get all that when you first sign up. Just make sure you use code ENDGAME when you sign up. Plus the huge bonus cash that you get for just becoming a member, you get that deposit match. So it is definitely worth it. And of course, if you didn't get your question answered, go to DraftLane, download it completely free. To download the DraftLane app, go to App Store, Play Store, and you'll get a $10 credit in your account just for signing up. All right. So we can see some of y'all in there too. Gonna go check the app right now, actually.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you all tomorrow morning.